What's up, duelists? What's up, duelists? Let's go. Live stream, multiple live stream segments today. Multiple live stream segments today. It's been a little while since I've done a live stream. All right, it's been a little while. It's been since not Genesis. That's what it says on the screen. It's been since Vienna since I've done a live stream. Live now with two fun segments come through. Let me tweet out real quick and then we'll be good to go. Host live now discussing TCG player quarterly report and my latest tournament with Rescue Cat Green Baboon. Get in here, post the link, and we're good to go. All right, cool. What's up, duelists? Welcome in. I'll wait till everyone gets in to get started here. If you're watching the VOD, obviously just sign up for RBET at Genesis, then scan forward a little bit. Yeah, RBET at Genesis is coming up. It's coming up shortly. It's gonna be a banger one. It's gonna be a really, really, really good Edison tournament, RBET, if you will. But yeah, there's a segment I want to do regarding the TCG player quarterly reports. What's up, Tim? How you doing? I'm doing great today. How are you doing? I'm doing fantastic, but we got a lot to talk about, so I figured it'd be time to go live because I think that people want the live stream. It's a Sunday. People are off work. I want something to watch. They want to hang out. They want to give their 2 cents. I want to hear your guys' 2 cents, actually, because there's some stuff going on. There's some stuff that's been happening because, Yugioh had kind of a tough end of 2025, and I think we need to look at the numbers. You have some spice for Genesis? I am very excited. I'm very, very excited to see what you have cooked up for Genesis. I'm really excited for Genesis myself. I think it's going to be one of my favorite tournaments of all time. I think it's going to be a blast. I'm so pumped for it. I think like the ability to have this alongside like a really high level Melee tournament is just like a dream come true for me with regards to swag, with regards to like just having it all there and just being able to hang with the boys and do things with the boys and see the top 8 and whatnot. Oh, man, it's going to be sick. It's going to be such a good event. I think RBET at Genesis may be one of the cooler like crossover events of the year, if not the only crossover event of the year. We don't really know. We don't really know yet. I'm going to let some more people trickle in. Let us know when you guys are tuning in, and we will be getting underway shortly. All right. I think... What's up, Edison Club? Hope you're doing well. There should be something going out for you sometime soon in the next few weeks, so lock in. Tournaments. More tournaments. I heard in Peru, if you're an Edison player in Peru, there is a tournament coming up. Let me pull up. They emailed me, so let me see what they said. Oh my gosh. I'm so like not well coordinated here. Let me see. I believe it's called the ECC Edison something in Peru. Shout out to all Peruvian duelists. And then I'm actually going to be playing in a tournament soon, a pretty serious tournament as well. This guy here that Team Starlight is throwing, that we got pulled up on March 14th at Joyful Toad. It's a shop I've never been to, but it's a pretty stacked pricing. You get some mats if you win as well. I believe it's about 60%, 60, 70% sold out. So if you guys want a chance to compete against me, come through to this, which is a rare opportunity. A rare opportunity. I'm going to be trying as hard as fucking humanly possible because I want to win. I want to win a couple of Ultimate Cyber Dragons. I think that'd be really cool. If not, I mean, top 4 would be sick too. But yeah, it's not that often I get to compete in these high-level tournaments, and so as a result, I'm going to be training a lot over the next month and playing very serious Edison, very competitive and serious Edison, while still, of course, playing cool builds. Never anything uninteresting. But I'm sure you guys can find the signups for this. Either scan the QR code or it should be on topdeck.gg. You can find it on topdeck.gg because I believe they are using that. But let's go ahead and get into the segment. All right, let's get into the segment. So, TCG player releases their what is this? Get the fucking check. All right. TCG player releases their quarterly sales reports every quarter, right? And part of my predictions this year is that Yu-Gi-Oh just gets absolutely mogged by like every trading card game because the game sucks. And I want Yu-Gi-Oh to be good because I have a Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube channel that would be very cool if the game was popping. But as of right now, the game is not popping. So we need to talk about what's going down. So here comes the top 10 card games with regards to total dollar value of all sales in Q4 2025. So number 1, total dollar value was Magic the Gathering. Number 2, Pokemon. I think that's going to be the same for a while. That's just going to be number 1 and number 2. Pokemon will be number 1 units, and Magic the Gathering will probably be number 1 in dollar value. So that's probably just the way things are. Like, until something crazy happens and Magic gets bumped, because I think Magic is the closest one to getting bumped out of here. Magic is also on a weird downtick. Pokemon and Magic are going to be your top 2. But looking at this next one, number 3, for our entire lifetimes has been Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! has been number 3 our entire lifetime until now. This is like end of an empire type shit. One Piece trading card game surpassed Yu-Gi-Oh! In total dollar sales on TCG Player. That's pretty crazy. There's a lot of reasons for this. There's no one single reason. I don't think it's just because the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game is not very easy to get into for new players. It's not that. There's no one reason. There's a ton of different reasons. I'm going to go into all the reasons. All right? I'm going to go into all the reasons. But it's kind of what we want to look at here. And then you can see here, Riftbound, in its first quarter of existence, already surpasses Disney Lorcana. In total dollar value. Now, little caveat, little asterisk here. Riftbound is a brand new game. So on release, obviously it's going to get a little bit of hype, a little bit of attention. And then on top of that, this is total dollar value. And as you guys know, the supply chain for Riftbound was fucked up. So cards were definitely more inflated. They were more inflated than they normally would be had the appropriate allocation been printed and delivered upon. So while I don't think Riftbound is here entirely on its own merit, I do think it's worth looking at that in its first quarter of the game, it's already towing up against Yu-Gi-Oh! In total dollar value sales on TCG Player. Luca says, are you really that convinced of Riftbound? You tested it and only think it's decent so far. You probably haven't played good decks or fun decks, but yeah, Riftbound's very good. It's a very good game. It's like one of the better TCGs to come out in the last decade or so. It's not maybe the best, but it is one of the better ones. And I do think it's a great game. I do think it's a fantastic game that's easy to learn, difficult to master. Says big one comes to mind is that cheap reprints are resulting in the best-selling cards being mostly under $5. Is that what you're talking about with regards to Yu-Gi-Oh? Because you could say the same thing about Pokemon. Most Pokemon cards are below dollar value. What's up, Gage? Hey, Gage, do you want to hop on a call right now? I can, if you want, you can take part in this segment because you're actually involved in this segment that I'm doing right now. I'm going to mention you in this segment. So if you want to hop on a call, I'll gladly discuss this with you. But this is like end of an era shit, and I want to cover it because I think it's like, I think it's kind of historical. Oh, no worries. But Gage is a part of this segment. Riftbound is phenomenal. Looking forward to Irelia and Set 2. As am I, Joshua. As am I. I think Irelia is very cool. My testing partner for the regional, or one of my testing partners, is very high on Irelia as well. Anyway. So this is just kind of like, there's a lot of factors to this. This is just total dollar value. Now let's go down a little bit further. We see down here Gundam card game. Pretty interesting. Digimon card game and Star Wars Unlimited. All pretty cool. Of these card games, I have purchased almost every single one of these cards on one of these card games on TCG Player in the past year. So myself personally, just full transparency, I have purchased Magic the Gathering cards on TCG Player in the last year. I've purchased Pokemon cards on TCG Player in the last year. I have not purchased One Piece card game cards on TCG Player. So this one is kind of like, it's new to me for sure. I've obviously purchased Yu-Gi-Oh cards on TCG Player. I've obviously purchased Riftbound cards. I have not purchased Disney Lorcana cards. Not a big fan of Disney. I've purchased Pokemon Japan. I've not purchased Gundam card game. I have purchased Digimon card game, and I have purchased Star Wars Unlimited. Once again, not a big fan of Disney, but my nephew loves Star Wars, so I've bought a few singles of Star Wars Unlimited just to see what the cards are like and to give them to my nephew. So, full transparency, I partake in a lot of this process, the purchasing process. I spend a good amount of money on TCG Player, more than I probably should. And on top of that, I'm also like individually responsible for a reason why Yu-Gi-Oh has a significant amount of dollar sales on TCG Player. So if there's anyone who's like really qualified to talk about this, it's gonna be me. I like talk to a lot of vendors on a daily basis. I'm really plugged in with the trading card game market with regards to Yu-Gi-Oh. With regards to some of the other stuff, not so sure, but I do really try to keep up to date on like the happenings in like Edison Yu-Gi-Oh, like if cards are like affordable, not affordable, what cards are worth a certain amount so they'd be good for pricing, that sort of thing. And I have a lot of friends who are vendors. So like I do pay a lot of attention to this. In the last year, the majority of my vendor friends said that they are no longer carrying new Yu-Gi-Oh product. New Yu-Gi-Oh product. Love how it says Yu-Gi-Oh might rebound once Phantom Revenge releases this Friday, even after it got delayed. Does it say that? Might rebound. Yeah, it might. It might have. We don't know. We're gonna see we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. The fact that it's even this close is bad for Yu-Gi-Oh. The fact that they are not even one set ahead of One Piece is crazy. Like, that's tough. Like, that's one bad set away from being knocked out of the top 3. Think of it that way. Anyway, what was I saying is I've personally significantly impacted the Yu-Gi-Oh market. Edison cards were not worth anything before I started throwing tournaments. That's just an objective fact. I started throwing tournaments, demand went up. Now most vendors who carry Yu-Gi-Oh also carry some amount of Edison stuff. That's just like objective fact. So while being personally responsible for driving that market, I feel like I'm qualified to speak on what drives markets, at least to some degree. So let's move on a little bit. Let's move forward a bit. So the top 5 best-selling sets, GMV, we've got Magic the Gathering number 1, Avatar The Last Airbender. Makes sense. Everybody loves Avatar The Last Airbender. It's the most casual shit in the world. But it's a great show. I mean, it's just a great TV show. And they knocked the art out of the park on the set. I'll give credit where credit is due. Even though I hate the whole, like, Universes Beyond bullshit, the fucking Fortnite trading card game bullshit, they knocked it out of the park with the art. And if it was its own separate card game, like if you were just playing the Avatar set in Magic the Gathering, like on its own, that's kind of cool. It's kind of a fun little game that you can play. And yeah, they did a great job. Pokemon Phantasmal Flames being maybe the most recent Pokemon release right before Christmas. Makes sense. Riftbound Origins, obviously number 3, the very first Riftbound set. It's going to be the best-selling set. Like, just by far. Like, the second something went up on TCG Player, Riftbound Origins, it gets sold. That's just, like, the way it goes. Mega Evolution for Pokemon, taking up number 4th. So, like I said, Pokemon is always going to be, like, volume. Magic the Gathering is probably going to be, like, dollar value and volume to some degree. And then Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. So, out of the top 5, we actually see Riftbound in the top 5 over One Piece. So once again, just like, not Yu-Gi-Oh! There was not a Yu-Gi-Oh! Set there. There was a Riftbound set there. And I understand Riftbound set is expensive, hyped up prices because the supply was fucked up, and it's the first Riftbound set. So makes sense, you know, it makes sense that it's the best selling one, but still to be above Pokemon Mega Evolution before Christmas is fucking crazy. Like, that is fucking crazy. Like, actually insane. Anyway, moving on. Have you read about how MTG Universes is Beyond is basically how Lego stopped making their own original set pieces and exclusively do cross-promotional stuff? Lego still does a lot of their own stuff. Lego does like Ninjago and like the Dreams stuff. Lego Dreams is really cool. Actually, one of the members of Team Starlight is a voice actor for Lego Dreams. Fucking crazy coincidence, but yeah, Team Starlight boys, they're out here. They're out here making like A-list moves, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, just I won't tell you who. You'll have to figure that out on your own. You'll have to dig through the lore on your own. But yeah, Lego does have a lot of their own original IP, and Magic does have some of their own original IP too. They did just release Lorwyn. Credit where credit is due. The set looks pretty cool. I haven't played with it. I haven't really taken a look through it outside of just looking at the money cards, but the set does look cool. And when they do make stuff that is their own IP, I tend to like it more. I don't know. That's just my own personal opinion. But yeah, the fact that Riftbound in sales was doing more than Mega Evolution is crazy. Moving on. Top 10 best-selling singles. So this is an interesting one. These are the best-selling TCG singles of Q4 2025 across all games and sets by the total dollar value of sales. Number 1, Mega Charizard X EX. Makes sense. It's an expensive card that literally the majority of people want. It's a Charizard, right? And it's the shiny new one that came out, and it's a special illustration art, and it's from the brand new set right before Christmas. Everybody wants it. Everybody's husband or boyfriend or uncle or nephew or son or whatever, daughter, they all want the Charizard, all right? Let's be real. So, number 1 most sold card, that makes sense. Number 2 is the Soulstone. This is a card I'm unfamiliar with. I don't really know this card. But it's from Spider-Man. It's from one of the Universes Beyond. And I was actually pretty shocked to see that the Universes Beyond sets are this high up on any sort of chart, let alone this one. But people love Spider-Man. And so, I don't know. Maybe it's a good card competitively too. Seems to be the case. It's about $62. So, Bulbasaur, Mega Evolution stamped, for some reason is number 3. Badger Mole Cub from Avatar The Last Airbender, $50. Interesting. Must be a competitive card. Then we've got Thousand-Tailed Watcher. So once again, in the top 5 most sold cards, most sold units with dollar value, pertaining to dollar value, we have a Riftbound card. You guys don't understand. This is a big deal. This is a brand new game, and it's already up here with Magic and Pokemon. In multiple different areas, it's up there with Magic and Pokemon. It's a brand new game. The game is good, and people like it, and people play it, and the events sell out really, really fast. This is crazy. LDS says, anytime Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a really bad format, another TCG pops up and people flock to it. 2012 Vanguard, 2017 DBS, 2021 Digimon, end of 2022 One Piece. Context is really important for dips like this. Yeah, I'm going to try to give context after this. Don't worry, I'm going to try to give context. However, I don't think that this is the same as the last ones. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. But look at this. Thousand-Tailed Watcher. Okay, next card. Marco from One Piece. Okay, so One Piece finally on the board here. You see what I'm saying? Do you think that in the current scenario, the situation of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is worrying? I don't think it's really worrying for anyone but Konami, but it's just interesting to look at. We're just looking at it from like an outsider's perspective, right? Yeah, people do say that this Yu-Gi-Oh format is fine. Actually, I've heard a lot of people say that it's pretty good within the context of modern Yu-Gi-Oh, which obviously is not that good. But yeah, all right, next one, Charizard, Dead Bloom Predator Origins, one of the most fucking busted cards that they've printed. Hello? This card absolutely massacred my wallet when I got my set of them. And then Mega Lucario. Lucario sneaking in there somehow. But yeah, I mean, as for the best-selling cards, 3 of them are Charizard. 2 of them are Riftbound cards, which is wild. There are as many Riftbound cards on this top 10 as there are Magic cards. Obviously, 0 Yu-Gi-Oh cards, 1 One Piece card. Just keep looking at this. Keep looking at this. Don't sleep on Riftbound. I'm telling you guys, the game is good. There's a lot of hype behind it, but it's not just hype. The game is like, they have a clear plan. And while their first events and their releases were rolled out, in my opinion, objectively poorly, they have a plan and they've been improving on it. And I'll get into that a little bit more in the segment. Top 10 best-selling singles, unique buyers. I don't really know what the fuck this means. But I think this is just like the largest number of unique buyers bought this card. Number 1, Pokemon. Number 2, Pokemon. Number 3, Pokemon. Number 4, Pokemon. Number 5, Pokemon. Number 6, Pokemon. Magic with a Spider-Man card. And then 8 through 10, Pokemon. So this is where Pokemon absolutely mogs. Because the most people play Pokemon. Kids play Pokemon. Kids don't play fucking Yu-Gi-Oh. Let's be real. Kids don't play Riftbound. Let's be real. But yeah, so this is where like staple cards, Pokemon just dominates here. And this is why Pokemon is, in my opinion, like the number 1 most accessible game, because like most people can pick it up and learn it and play it, and it's just a great entry-level card game, and the cards are very cheap, and there's a ton of different people buying like individual staples, people who just want to play at home or with their kids or whatever. So yeah, this all makes sense to me. This all makes sense. Actually, most of these cards I actually purchased myself this year. I purchased Lily's Determination, I purchased Mega Gardevoir, I purchased Pheasantipede, not this one, but I purchased a different one. I purchased the Psyduck, I purchased Fighting Gongs, Air Balloons. I haven't purchased Hildas yet because I want to get the nice ones. I purchased Lunatone, and I have not purchased the Charizard. But out of these top 10, I purchased 8 of them myself in order to play the game. So, accessible staples, Pokemon is mogging. Amount of players, Pokemon is mogging. I would just say that it's not even close. Like, Pokemon has the most players by a factor of about 4 to 5x, I'd say. That's probably like a realistic estimate. Like, for every 100 Yu-Gi-Oh players, there's 400 Pokemon players. That's just like a rough estimate. I'd say it might even be more than that, but that's like a very generous estimate. Anyway, this quarter, broadly playable Pokemon cards completely took over the top 10 as more players bought into the game, which remains the most affordable competitive TCG on the market. And that's just like objective fact as well. If you want to build a competitive Pokemon game or a Pokemon deck, you spend like $20 to $30. If you want to build a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh deck, you're spending more than that. Even Edison, it's more than that now. It's like $100. And if you want to build a competitive Riftbound deck or competitive Magic deck, sometimes you're looking at spending like $1,000. So the difference between $20 and $1,000 is huge. It's obviously huge. And it's without a doubt part of the reason why Pokemon is so accessible is because the game is so cheap to play, for sure. Okay, let me read the chat real quick before we move on to the next part of the segment. Konami, clearly there isn't room in the English market for Rush. Meanwhile, Riftbound. It is in part the same, but you're right. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is at a breaking point for a while, and the main office hasn't taken steps to address the long-standing problems that lead us to where things are now. The changes to pricing in the West late, but good steps. Genesis is a cool idea, and how they're pushing it cool, I will say they should have given Ultimate Time Wizard the same treatment. I disagree that Genesis format was a good idea. I think Genesis format seemed rushed, and it seemed SEO driven. I'm not going to say more than that, but even the name of it seemed SEO driven, quite obviously. But hey, we're not going to get into stuff like that. We're not going to get into petty feuds with billion-dollar companies on a live stream. Anyway, Yeah, I think Genesis is a horribly designed format. I think the ban list system is annoying and adds another layer of complexity to explain to a new player. It punishes people for not like studying every card in existence. It's only a good format for people who have already played the game and are just bored of Modern, and it's just Modern light. In your local, there are more Time Wizard than advanced players. Is this happening to anyone else here? It's happening to a lot of people, Lucas. It's happening to a lot of people. It's definitely the case in my area, where Modern is close to dead at almost every single shop except one, but Edison is alive at like 10 or 20 different shops in Las Vegas. So, yeah, it's definitely Edison Yu-Gi-Oh is bigger than people are saying. Genesis is Modern for modern players that don't want to play Modern. That's really funny that I understand what you're saying and still just don't like it as a concept. I think it's really stupid. Like, objectively, really stupid. I think that they had something good with Speed Duel. I don't know why they killed that. Speed Duel was amazing. They should have kept going with that. Speed Duel was the best thing that they had a good product. I don't know why they shot it in the foot. It was also one of their best selling products. Fun fact. Genesis is the I scrubbed out of YCS day one and I got nothing to do on Sunday format. Yeah, and that used to be Edison, and prior to that used to be Speed Duel. But yeah, they'll always have something like that around. I mean, with less of their whatever. All right. This is Q3 2025. So just a little reflection. You'll see One Piece was rank 4, Gundam was rank 5, Yu-Gi-Oh was rank 3. But it says the top 4 games are in a league of their own and remain locked in their respective positions. It's worth noting, however, the gap between One Piece and Yu-Gi-Oh is shrinking. So, the gap between One Piece and Yu-Gi-Oh is shrinking. This was Q3. This was the quarter before quarter 4. Just wanted to point that out. Yu-Gi-Oh's on its way out. I'm going to present it to you in a way that like tries to make sense, but I'm going to try to approach every single angle. Yu-Gi-Oh's a great game. I love it. I've spent a lot of years of my life playing it. I've spent a lot of my years throwing tournaments for it and professionally streaming it and broadcasting it. But I do think that it falls short in a couple of categories that are pretty critical. So let's go ahead and hop over to this Reddit thread. Reddit, the worst place you can go when trying to get like, I don't know, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's okay. This is a Reddit post by House of Champs. House of Champs, for those of you guys who don't know, is one of the largest Yu-Gi-Oh collectors. And he's also one of the largest Yu-Gi-Oh content creators. So he is incredibly invested in this. He has a very unique perspective. And he gets to see things that a lot of people don't get to see just through proximity of like... this guy knows how to purchase like dual terminal machines. You know what I mean? Like he's on a different level of like involved with Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh than the average person. And here he is. Why modern Yu-Gi-Oh product is failing with numbers. This is prior to the quarterly earnings report, by the way. Mind you, this is about 5 months ago. So get ready for a deep dive rant backed by a few numbers. So he's going to go ahead and go through all this. We're not going to read through all this. Are we going to read through all this? It's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot. But, yeah, it's just kind of a lot. He basically mathematically breaks down, like why the booster packs are bad and why the product has declined in quality and why it's harder to get specific secret rares, so the product is worth less. And if the product is worth less on the secondary market, it causes a cascade effect where it's not worth the shelf space in the stores. And when something isn't worth the shelf space in the stores, people don't see it when they go to the store. And when people don't see it when they go to the store, they don't want to play a game that they don't see in their everyday life. Their proximity to it is what leads them to play it. So when, pardon me, when a lot of vendors and a lot of stores like Target or whatever carry Yu-Gi-Oh, and there's Yu-Gi-Oh product that's been on the shelves at Target for like months, or a lot of vendors or specifically specialty stores don't carry Yu-Gi-Oh products because they just sit on the shelves and don't sell, then those vendors are much more likely now to move to some of their other options. And some of those other options are obviously going to be immediately off the bat One Piece, Riftbound, Disney Lorcana, or possibly even some of these three down here, Gundam, Digimon, or Star Wars Unlimited. Star Wars Unlimited does sell fairly well booster pack wise. I've bought more booster packs of Star Wars Unlimited than I've bought of many other games in the past few years, until I realized it was BDS, and then I stopped, obviously. Pokemon, obviously, you can't even keep Pokemon cards on shelves without like a horde of scalpers showing up. And even Magic the Gathering, to some degree, has some appeal because of their draftability of certain sets. So, yeah, as far as product goes, I've noticed a lot of card shops around myself and around the world, because I do travel the world for this. I travel to a lot of the biggest places. They've relegated less and less of their, not relegated, delegated less and less of their shelf space to Yu-Gi-Oh, modern Yu-Gi-Oh specifically. And the people who have kept up with Yu-Gi-Oh have cut their modern Yu-Gi-Oh space roughly in half to make room for Edison Yu-Gi-Oh. And if they haven't kept up with it, they're replacing it with One Piece, Riftbound, and obviously Pokemon. So yeah, I would say the big three card games that I'm seeing in stores, or like casual hobbyist stores, it's going to be Pokemon, One Piece are going to be the two big ones. And then Yu-Gi-Oh and Riftbound are the next two, Lorcana tailing behind those. So Magic the Gathering, it's usually more in the dedicated, like, this is a Magic store shops, but usually most stores will have some amount of Magic the Gathering. But this post here from House of Champs, who is a, like I said, very informed content creator, he breaks it down in a very very well-spoken way. A very well-spoken way. And I'd encourage people to read this. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough when the game isn't cared for to the same degree as it was a few years ago. That's a bad sign. All right, moving on. Then we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Konami just doesn't fucking treat its players well. It just doesn't treat its players well, you know? And obviously it's trying better now. It's trying some new things now. It's trying the how do I say this? Konami is doing stuff because it has to. So One Piece is playing like retro Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, it is. It's a good game. Credit where credit is due. One Piece is a fun game. It's a good game. It deserves to be on this list. It deserves to be number 3. I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh deserves to be number 3 right now. And we'll get into that in a second. We'll talk about One Piece after I'm done talking about Yu-Gi-Oh and Konami. But Konami, like, putting aside my personal disagreements with Konami and putting aside, like, trying to be as objective as possible, they're trying new things. They're trying to create a new format that isn't modern. I think they're doing a terrible job. I think Genesis is a horribly designed format just from like an ease of entry perspective. It's you could never teach a kid Genesis format. You're just stupid if you think that that's the case. You know what I mean? Like a Zoomer brain rotted kid is not going to have the attention span to play Genesis format. The Edison format and Speed Duel, in my opinion, really occupied that funnel, that space in the funnel really, really well. I think on top of that, Duel Links, when Duel Links was more affordable, now it's just a cash grab. But when Duel Links was more affordable, it also occupied that space of funneling in players. Currently, it doesn't even seem like they're trying to grow the game. It seems like they're just trying to keep people in the ecosystem as long as possible and then just like max out on that potential basically. But it's not really a working business plan. So, yeah, on top of that, they killed the Ultimate Time Wizard program last year. And this was really, really big deal. And I was reflecting on this because it's been about 6 months since that happened, since they shut down the Ultimate Time Wizard program. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm in contact with a lot of different vendors. I'm in contact with a lot of different people who make a living buying and selling cards. And so I got a lot of their first-hand opinions when Konami decided to cancel its Ultimate Time Wizard program. I personally am responsible for all of these players now having cards that could potentially be worth a lot if I continue the RBET series, or worth less if I don't continue the RBET series. So this is like a a thing I have to consider, right? That a lot of people I know make a living off of this. And basically what happens when they rug pull the players, they also rug pull the vendors. And that breaks the trust with the vendors. And the vendors will feel burned. And even if Konami's having a banger set, even if Yu-Gi-Oh has an uptick again, these vendors are not going to forget that so easily. And a lot of them just stopped carrying Yu-Gi-Oh product entirely. A lot of them stopped carrying the product entirely. So them canceling Ultimate Time Wizard, it didn't just hurt the players, it broke their trust with their primary consumer, which is the people who buy their product to then resell to the customers. The people who buy from Konami are store owners and vendors. The people who buy from the store owners and the vendors are us. So they didn't just burn us by canceling Ultimate Time Wizard. They burned the trust with all of the other vendors as well. And as a result, it hurt Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm like, legit, it hurt the game. And if you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh!, like, this is bad. This is really bad for you. If you're a fan of modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is bad for you. If you're a fan of Genesis Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is bad for you. If you're a fan of Master Duel or Duel Links, this is bad for you. Like, them canceling this program the way they did it was bad for everyone involved. And looking back on it after 6 months, speaking to a lot of the people again, like following up on them and being like, hey, how did this affect you? How did this change your trajectory? And so many of them were like, yeah, we just started dedicating less space to Yu-Gi-Oh! And we started dedicating more space to Riftbound. We started looking more into One Piece, into our other options, because Konami burned their trust as their consumer. And in the past, Konami could get away with this shit. Why could Konami get away with this shit? There was no competitors. There was nobody who was even close to them. You read it in the TCG Player article. It said, the gap between the top 4 and the next is big. That's what it said in quarter 3. Now, in quarter 4 of last year, there are 2 fucking very, very hot competitors. Not only for vendors, but for players to look at as alternatives to Yu-Gi-Ohs. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! I just said Yu-Gi-Ohs, like plural. Like there's more than one of them. There is technically more than one Yu-Gi-Ohs. There's modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And Edison Yu-Gi-Oh! And all the other different Yu-Gi-Ohs. But yeah, you're getting the point. Now that there's an alternative, people are like getting burned, and Konami's trying to do this shit again and again and again. It's like, people are just gonna be like, no, fuck you. We're gonna go play a different game. Your game is not that much better. And there's a lot of people talking about One Piece, a lot of people talking about Riftbound. Vendors don't have to carry Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. And if you want my honest opinion, as a vendor, unless the majority of your customers are Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, you probably shouldn't carry modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Product. It's not good right now. It's not a good product. It doesn't sell. People don't want it. And like, that can change potentially. Now, this is a screenshot I got from a Team Samurai video. And Team Samurai is one of Yu-Gi-Oh's biggest content creators, if not the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh content creator. In this thumbnail, you've got obviously MBT, Simo, and Nim Nim, as well as a Time Wizard in the background there. Since posting this video 7 months ago, half of the people in this thumbnail have functionally quit Yu-Gi-Oh outside of Edison. And these are people who made a living playing the game. Do you understand how hard it is to make a living playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, you have to be so generationally lucky to be in that position. And these guys are like, the game sucks so much that you cannot pay me to play it. I want you guys to understand, this is huge shit right here. This is huge. Like, the game's biggest creators are either positioning themselves to not be locked into Yu-Gi-Oh, or they've fully gotten out. And that's like end of an empire shit. That's like legit end of an empire shit. When Gage goes and tweets, I am no longer playing Yu-Gi-Oh, he's obviously referring to modern Yu-Gi-Oh, right? He's obviously referring to like streaming Master Duel or whatever. When Alex starts doing videos with like LSV and like fucking Hearthstone players and shit like that, he's like trying to position himself to get away from the game because Konami just consistently breaks the trust of its consumers. And as a result, the people who market the fucking game, which is creators like me, like Gage, like Alex, like Team Samurai, like MBT, like Team APS, like all these guys, right? Like, it goes all the way up and down. If Konami is breaking the trust with the preliminaries, which is the marketers, us, the creators, and breaking the trust with the vendors, then we would inherently be breaking the trust of our audience by marketing this game to them. And as a result, it kills our business too. So this is a really, really big deal. Like, you don't understand. Marketing in the modern day is 100% influencer based. It's like influencer and like virality based. That's it. And everyone is kind of sick of it. And if you talk to any of these guys behind the scenes, they'll tell you the same thing. They all fucking hate the way Konami's handled the game. And they've made it like they will like, they're literally, I'm like, man, I don't even know how to say it better than I already said it. But basically the point I'm saying is these guys get paid good salaries. These guys get paid well to play this game, and they still are refusing to do it. That's how bad the state of the game is. All right. Red Gadget says you're looking into Riftbound these days. As you should. Riftbound's a great game. It's a fantastic game. It plays similarly to Edison. I think it's incredibly skill intensive. I myself, I'm participating in the upcoming Las Vegas Regional. It's one of the most fun games that I've played in a long time. And I get to play with all my greatest friends. And there's a lot of Edison players who like Riftbound as well, because we'll get into that. Yeah, let's move on. So this is this is what Konami is trying to do. This feels like kind of a last ditch effort, but this is a full art cards. And some people are gonna say like, oh, how do you say this? Some people are gonna say that finally they've listened. And it's like, no, they've been listening the whole time. Like, you guys don't understand. They've been listening the whole time. They're just ignoring you. They ignore the consumer until this shit happens right here. Until the numbers say you need to fucking change or you will lose. That's when they start doing stuff like this. That's when they start announcing the full art cards. Let's talk about the full art cards. Oh my gosh. Shout out Ruxin. I love Ruxin. He's the GOAT. But yeah, so they announced full art cards, right? Long time coming. My personal opinion, I don't think they look that good. First off, I don't think they look that good. Second off, who fucking cares? I don't want a Blue Eyes White Dragon. You know how many fucking Blue Eyes White Dragons there are? There's 8 million. I don't want another one. I don't. I'm like, they have their Charizard, right? They have their Charizard. It's Blue Eyes White Dragon, okay? This is disrespectful. This is like them saying, we're not going to fix any of the other problems. We're just going to give you another fucking Blue Eyes White Dragon and just hope you shut the fuck up. This is disrespectful to the consumer. It's disrespectful is what it is. They're not going to fix the game. They're not going to do any radical ban list changes. They're not going to create a format that's actually easy at entry level. They're not going to support retro. They're not going to fucking put out a new anime or something like that. They're not going to have a digital game that's comparable to PCCG Live. They're not going to have a TCG digital platform. They don't even have a fucking digital platform for the TCG format. Keep that in mind. It's fucking 2026. They don't have a digital platform where you can play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! 2026, they don't have this. It's like relying on the fucking community to do this. And the game is not that good to be treated this way. It's not that good. I think this is a spit in the face of everybody. I don't think these are good. I don't think this is good. I think these are fucking ugly. We've had these before. People have already printed proxies of these that look way better than whatever they're going to put out. Yeah, it's just not... It's just, at this point, it's just like, okay, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it, is what I'm saying. It's like, it's not worth it to, like, wait and have to wait until they literally get fucking mogged by every creature is Nami from One Piece in order to actually do something that people have been asking for decades. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid is what it is. It's just, Like, I don't know. There's a way to roll out full arts. I think this is not the way to do it. And this is not the way to do it, personally. It feels disrespectful. It feels like, oh, wait, please, don't go play One Piece. No. Remember you asked us? Remember you asked us for full arts? Well, it's not really a full art. It's like border broken. But it's Blue Eyes. You like Blue Eyes, don't you? You like Blue Eyes White Dragon. You like Blue Eyes White Dragon, don't you? Wait. We're gonna jingle the keys. Don't leave us. Don't leave us. It's like abusive ex behavior, bro. It's fucking insane. It's like, what do you mean? Like, you guys could have done this, like, of your own free volition. You didn't have to wait until you were getting fucking mogged by Luffy and the gang. You know what I mean? Like, so no, I hate this. I actually fucking hate it so much. I hate the way they rolled it out. It's stupid because it's something that we all want, but I fucking hate it. It's what I hate. I don't know. All right. Moving on. We're gonna close these tabs for the full art stuff real quick, and then we'll get into One Piece because I want to talk a little bit about One Piece, right? And I want to talk about like why One Piece is the fucking shit right now, at least. So this is an example of a One Piece full art, right? This is a popular character in the One Piece anime, manga, whatever. This character's name is Roronoa Zoro. Can't even say his fucking shit. What's up, Aljus? How you doing? So this is an example of a One Piece full art. It looks good. It doesn't look amazing. I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but it looks good. It looks cool. It looks hand drawn, which I like. It looks like the art is good. I don't love the Bandai cardstock. I don't love it. It's not terrible, but it looks fine. It looks solid. And they have a nice layout here. The card is simple. When attacking, once per turn. Activate, main, once per turn. Simple cards, simple to play. Talks about Dawn cards, which is like the resource system. And then characters can be active or inactive or whatever. Cool. This is a One Piece card. We're going to talk about One Piece now. This is our transitional segment. All right. So we're going to move from Yu-Gi-Oh. We already know Yu-Gi-Oh is not in a good spot. We know Yu-Gi-Oh has done a bunch of stuff that's just like is like antagonistic to its player base. And let's look at some of the things that's going on in One Piece right now. Because I think a lot of One Piece's success is not necessarily from Bandai either. Because, okay, take a look at the cards. The cards look good. The game is a Bandai game. All right, everybody knows what Bandai games play like. It's a little bit better of a Bandai game than your average Bandai game. It's a little bit above average. But everybody fucking knows. Everybody in here knows what happens to Bandai games. Everybody knows because you've been burned by Bandai just the same. They cancel the games. You remember Naruto. Everybody remembers Naruto. It got canceled. All right? That's what happens. So Bandai, I'm not saying is a better company than Konami. Their track record of maintaining a card game is actually worse than Konami. But there are a lot of things going in One Piece's favor right now. The first thing is the One Piece live action actor. One of the actors from the television show plays the card game. And not only that, he's fucking good. So this is like real, genuine celebrity cultural appeal to playing the game. He tweeted this out. It goes omega viral. So like, this is this post. It's a swagged out deck. He's got a playmat underneath it that has an original illustration from the creator of One Piece. What a sick thing to post. What a sick, fucked up thing to post. With his tournament record, too. He's a beast. He's, like, actually about it. And he's actually cracked. Like, he's actually good. So yeah. So, viral success. Viral appeal. They have a TV show. They have cultural appeal. They have the dudes who are invested in the show and invested in the manga and invested in all that are also invested in the card game. So it's like this handshake between the creatives behind the vision and the game itself. That sort of handshake builds so much trust. Unfortunately, rest in peace, Kazuki Takahashi is no longer with us. So that sort of handshake between the creator, the creative visionaries, And Yu-Gi-Oh, the parent company, Konami, or Shueisha, or whatever, that handshake is no longer visible to us. There's no front-facing creative entity that humanizes the brand, humanizes the game. This is massive for this game. Like, this type of thing is massive for this game. It's huge cultural moment. On top of that, look at this. I want you guys to look at this real quick. Look at this. For those of you who don't know, there was a revolution in Nepal. Where they were sick of corruption in their government, from what I understand. The Gen Z took to the streets, and they flew the fucking Jolly Roger as they blew up the fucking Capitol building. And they did it peacefully. There was no one inside. They just did it to send a fucking message. Being behind a successful, having an image like this, dude, this is like unreal marketing for a game like One Piece, or for a brand like One Piece. Because now you're the face of the people. Like, your art is the face of the people. And when people see this, so many people are going to recognize this. Like, across nations, dude. Like, this is actually crazy. Cultural relevance. And this isn't just happening in Nepal. This is happening at the anti-ICE protests across the country of the United States. And I personally know a lot more about this because I live in the United States. And the flag is being flown as a symbol of revolution. As a symbol of we are not going to take this shit from corporations, from fucking bullshit, corrupt individuals, from people who don't fuck with our community. This One Piece fucking emblem, little logo, little guy, has become the face of people across the world. It's become like a flag being flown for like pro-humane stuff and anti-corruption. And it's like, how do you beat that? Like, that's like fucking, that's top 3 material right there. This Yu-Gi-Oh will, as far as I'm concerned, it should not even be in the same sentence as One Piece right now. You should not be even, when you see a fucking flag like this flown in this context, like this high in this context, and when everyone sees this flag, they know what it means. You know exactly what this flag means when you see it. And that is part of your brand. That is brand recognition that you can't buy. That is brand recognition that you can only get when you have a unified vision and a unified alignment with your creative market, or your creative branch, or whatever. So this is like, yeah, this is just crazy. I mean, like, the cultural relevance of One Piece right now is like above and beyond the cultural relevance Yu-Gi-Oh could ever have, basically. Yeah. And I think that like, that's enough to get people to ignore Bandai. It's enough. That's all you need. People want One Piece. They don't care who it's coming from. People want to be a part of this. People want to be a part of this. And people want to be a part of this. They want to get a chance to play against a fucking Hollywood actor. You know what I mean? Like, you know what people don't want? The fucking full art Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's what people don't want. People don't want to be disrespected by a company, especially now when corporations are viewed very, very poorly by people. Like, corporate practices and like average corporate bullshit is viewed like very negatively by like the average person right now. Just because corporate overreach is at an all-time high across every nation in the world. So right now, leaning heavily into your cultural relevant I sound like fucking Shirley, whatever the fuck that kid's name is. I can't even speak straight. Cultural relevance. And then, yeah, I think leaning into the creative's vision behind the brand is like something One Piece is absolutely just taking off. And that could just be, that's something you can't manufacture. That's just something that has to happen as a result of like, I don't know. Lots of good people working on your shit. Anyway, moving on, Riftbound. Let's talk about Riftbound. One Piece is uniquely in a great spot where people will ignore Bandai to play it, and it deserves it. I think the IP is great. I think the message of the show is great, and I think the card game is very fun. So I think it deserves its spot in the top 3. And I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh should even be mentioned. I don't even think Yu-Gi-Oh should be top 5. I think Yu-Gi-Oh should be 6th, below Lorcana, right now. That's how little I think of this right now. But let's talk about Riftbound, because Riftbound's kind of the upcomer, right? Riftbound's kind of like the... What's going on with Riftbound, you know? So I recently commentated Riftbound 10K. This might not even load. I recently commentated a Riftbound 10K. It's not me on screen, obviously, but yeah, I commentated this with my good buddy Max, the PPG 10K, and this is us commentating the finals. So I have a lot of experience watching and playing Riftbound at this point. I've competed in the only North American major. I've also played a bunch of hours of Riftbound off camera, and I have worked professionally in the Riftbound space. So this is where I'm coming from when I'm like trying to like develop some ethos here with you guys so you understand where I'm coming from. Obviously there's bias here, and I'm going to try to avoid it as much as possible. But personally, I like the game. I think it's fun. I think it's very fun. I think it's a good game. It does a lot of the things that you want it to do. It's easy to learn, difficult to master. It's got fun mobility elements to it. The cards look cool enough. I'm not the biggest fan of the art style, but the cards look cool enough. The IP is good. League of Legends is a good IP. They've spent a lot of years building up the brand and building up the IP. The prize support is phenomenal. And the way they do the prize support is very similar to the way I did the Pump King of Games prize support on this channel. So it's funny that I don't know if they're a fan or if someone in the company is a fan, but they've adopted some of my policies for promoting innovation. And one of them is giving out 1-of-1 prize cards to people who place the highest with champions. So if someone places the highest with Kaisa in a tournament, doesn't matter if Kaisa is very good or not very good. It doesn't matter if you get like 67th or if you get top 16 or whatever. If you place the highest, you get a 1-of-1 prize card. That's sick. So that encourages people to play champions that are not meta. It encourages the meta to naturally develop and naturally evolve. Because one thing that people at Riftbound have discovered, as I've discovered myself, is that metas they're harder to move than mountains. Like literally they take so much effort to move. And the best way you can do anything is to add financial incentive to it. So what they've done is they've added these 1-of-1 prize cards that are tournament legal that people can compete for. And yeah, you don't really like the League of Legends brand, but the card game is well made. Jonah, I agree. I've never played League of Legends in my life. I watched season 1 of Arcane. I thought it was a cool show. I wasn't like, I thought it was well animated. I thought it was well acted. But I've never had an interest in playing League of Legends or MOBAs in general. They're just too slow paced for me, really. But the card game's fantastic. And a lot of the people they've brought on to play the card game are ex-Magic devs and ex-Pokemon devs, and I think some devs from other games as well. People who may have worked on games like Duel Masters and stuff like that. So the game has a lot of those elements that I think are really, really cool. And a lot of the cards are designed in similar ways to that. But they also have the interactive element that people really like about Yu-Gi-Oh! They have the trap card element. They have the instant speed element where you can kind of do stuff on your opponent's turn. You guys can exchange spells in combat and stuff like that. So it has everything that everyone complains about not having in different games, which is cool. Victor from Arcane Pog. Yes. Harrison, I agree. Harrison, are you going to the Team Starlight tournament? Because if you are, I have something for you. But if not, then maybe I'll just anyway, we'll figure it out. Back to Riftbound. So I've watched and played a bunch of Riftbound, and despite what these comments may say, like this fucking asshole saying 70-80% of has the world's most unintelligent takes. Yeah, okay, buddy. Okay. Okay. Okay, one of us is a professional here. I'll just keep it at that. Anyway, despite what the comments may say about me, I know a fair bit about the game, and I know a fair bit about the back end of the game as well, because I've spoken to some of the people who work at the game. And let me tell you, they have big plans. So whether or not those plans get executed is entirely on them. If their plans get executed, then Riftbound becomes number 4. And if not, it becomes number 3. But I think it's slated to be number 4 by the end of this quarter. I think with the Spirit Forged release, Riftbound will overtake. It should overtake Yu-Gi-Oh! It all depends on how much the Riot is able to. Riot and the companies responsible for Riftbound are able to handle this upcoming release, and their upcoming events. Few things. I know that their event signups was a disaster for Las Vegas, but they've hired on another company, PPG, I believe, to help work the Las Vegas regional, so it should run much better than typical, which is nice. And I've worked with PPG before on RBETs, and their team gets the job done. Okay, they get the job done. They're professionals. All right. So yeah, then I think they're doing the right steps in getting the right people in the right places to make the events better and to make the releases better. I don't know what they're going to need, because I have no experience in mass producing a card game and distributing it. I have no experience in that. So I don't really know what they would need to do to improve that process or make that process a reality. But as of right now, it's just like unacceptably bad. One of my good friends, my friend who put me onto the card game itself, Alex, his wife, I believe, pre-ordered Origins cards that I don't even know if they've gotten them yet. Like, that's how bad it is. The pre-orders are still backed up. Like, of set 1, not even set 2, and set 2 is coming out in a couple weeks. So, yeah, that's it. I do think the game is great, and I do think it has a lot of promise. Financially, they have good backing. They have Worlds already in talks, and Riot likes to put on for Worlds for its games. So the production's going to be great. They have at least 5 years out of planning. So, like, I think the game will be around for a while, which is obviously a scare when it comes to One Piece, because Bandai can just stop supporting a game at any moment. That being said, One Piece is printing, so they'd be, like, generationally stupid if they were to stop making One Piece cards at this time. So I think One Piece and Riftbound are safe, and they are going to be moving up in the ranks as a result. And a lot of that is dependent on Riftbound's ability to manage distribution, tournament organization, and coverage. I think those are the big 3 things. They need to get talent on coverage. They need to get their distribution sorted the fuck out, because that is a serious problem. And they need to figure out the live events, which I think they're doing a good job of doing. Like, they're working with multiple different companies now and trying to find the best one who can handle their events the best, which I think is how you should do things, basically. All right, and then this is just a Reddit thread talking about is Riftbound stagnating, or is it popping, or is it just a product issue? And a lot of the comments are just saying it's definitely a product issue. I think Riftbound has a lot of room to grow still. I think it could potentially, this is ambitious, but if they get all of those things sorted in like the next 3 or 4 months, you're looking at Riftbound top 3, baby. Maybe not. Maybe Magic gets bumped down. What are the chances of that? That'd be crazy, right? That'd be crazy. I don't think it would, though. Anyway, this is just a short segment I wanted to do, talking about how modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is on the way out. I will be answering a lot of your guys' questions now, so let's see. What are your thoughts on Genesis getting official tournaments and support? I think it's fucking stupid. Just like, that's my thoughts. That's why, like, my gut reaction is just like, that Genesis format, like, the format that they made to just SEO my own tournament out of the fucking Google results. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think that it's stupid. I think that that format is poorly designed, and I think that it's even harder to get into than modern because you don't just look at a ban list. You have to do a fucking math equation to build your deck. It's stupid. It's fucking dumb. It only rewards people who are like hyper involved in the game, and I think that that's not a good way to make your game more popular, especially when you're getting mobbed currently by everything else. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? Where were we? Let's see. What are the other questions here? Let's scroll up. There was one about Edison that I wanted. Have you seen the full art English version of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that were shown in a German venue? Yes, I covered that already. What do you think is the most important thing for Edison to survive and grow long term? I don't think it will. I think Edison dies with us. I don't know. Young people aren't playing Edison format, and the company's not supporting it. It lives and dies with the community, as it always has. I think once everyone in the community stops playing Edison, Edison stops to be a thing. Like nobody else is doing this. We're doing it. You know, who's throwing RBETs? Fucking me. You know what I mean? When I stop doing it, that's a huge blow. That's a huge blow to this game that nobody else is supporting. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, any chance of a big alternative retro format side events at RBET? I've done that already. So non-zero, I guess. The problem is that, like, why would I do that when I could just have an Edison one? It's like, why would we do that? I'm not really, like, I'm not really out here trying to, like, throw an event I myself wouldn't enjoy, I guess. But then again, that's quite selfish. So, yeah, no, typically when we do that, it just doesn't sell as many seats. So it's just like, it's not really much incentive. Genesis, do you think has potential to be something but needs more time? I disagree. I completely disagree. I think the number system, the Awesome Taco says LES seems better, TBH. Yeah, man. If I gave everybody free shit to come to my event, I'm sure it would seem better too. But yeah, we're not gonna go there. But this is actually no. Let's go there. Let's unpack this a little bit. Awesome Tacos. Let's see, channel activity. Let's see what this guy has said. RBET Dallas. Aliens, you made a cool alien deck IRL. This game is wild. RBET Berlin. RBET Chicago. RBET Denver. RBET Denver. RBET Santa Clara. RBET Indianapolis. RBET Los Angeles. RBET Los Angeles. I mean, you seem to tune into all the RBETs, so maybe you like my commentary or something like that. I don't know what it is. But hey man, if you want to go to a different event, feel free. It's that's your choice as a consumer. An automatic player for Edison would do wonders to introduce people to the game. Yeah, probably would. Edison can only grow through word of mouth, unfortunately, but you know you personally got into it that way, so I don't know, it may have a chance. Yeah, word of mouth is really strong. It's actually really powerful, Ghost Creator. Yeah, word of mouth is like Edison hasn't reached his peak, that's for sure. That's just crazy. I mean, that dude's been watching me for years. He's been watching me put on for years, and then he comes in with a fucking message like, what about it seems better? I don't know. It's always the dumbest motherfuckers who talk shit, too. The dumbest motherfuckers who want nothing. Like, you want nothing. Like, you enjoyed when there was nothing. I don't know. It's like, oh, do you want less? I don't understand. Do you understand that every other Edison event would not exist if it wasn't for what I did? Do you understand that? Is that something you understand? I don't think it's something this guy understands. It's fine if he doesn't understand it. Maybe he just watches every single RBET, but he's not plugged in like to that degree, right? It's so easy to get into your head. No, I'm making a point here though. I'm making a point. I think I'm making a point. People don't understand that I'm a competitor. I've always wanted to compete in events. Hell, I'm competing in an event coming up on March 14th. I'm playing in the Team Starlight tournament, and I'm going to be trying to win some Ultimate Cardboard, which is cool. And the reason this event exists, the reason there's going to be 124 players who sell out this event and go and play this event and try to compete against me is because I threw RBET and made the format popular. Like, I made the format popular so that there would be events I could play in. That was my goal. My end goal was never RBET. My end goal was I am competing because I'm a competitive guy. So like, if that map looks sick as fuck, it does, doesn't it? Team Starlight's had this one designed, and dude, it's so clean. Like the thin line Stardust, so drippy, dude. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this event. This is my first like big in-person event that I get to compete in since 4 years of RBET, bro. 4 years of RBET, and I finally get to compete in a big event. You know how sick that is? You know how fucking how pumped I am? I'm so hyped for this event. I think this is gonna be like one of the most fun events. Will you play LDS Sunday? You think spots are still open? No, I won't. I don't think I will ever play in one of those events. And we'll leave it at that. But no, I won't. But yeah, I'm really pumped for this. I'm obviously bummed they canceled the Ultimate Time Wizard, right? And I didn't go to them. I didn't go to the Ultimate Time Wizards that often because I was so busy with the RBETs and because the judging was not consistent. But the judges at this tournament, I know them personally because I've worked with them and I've hired them before, and they're amazing. And so I know I won't get a bad ruling at this event because I can trust the community that we've built here. Fucking insane, man. Feels like an extension of the 2010 Yu-Gi-Oh aesthetic in a great way. It looks really cool. I hope I win one. Because it would be really sick to win one. Yeah. Honestly, you think popularizing Edison really helped the community explore past formats more often? It absolutely did. Bro, it's not just that, but it's like content creators, bro. I've given a lot of people a lot of opportunities in content space by making this popular, by creating a community. Good evening, Felipe. How do you see Edison in the future? Do you think at some point the players might get bored and the format might become outdated? I have no thoughts. Head empty. No, I don't think Edison will get boring ever. I think Edison's a great format. I think it's the best format of Yu-Gi-Oh, personally. But I've said that a million times. I've played it almost every day for the last 4 years. You think I'm going to get bored of it? Like, that's crazy. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. Like, if you think someone's going to get bored of it, it's not going to be me, clearly. Like, obviously. I'm very much enjoy Edison format. Speaking of content creators in Edison, Gage is on a tear over the last year. Gage has been doing very well in Edison format over the last year. He's been topping a lot of major events. Starting off with RBET Indie, of course. And I think that that's a cool thing about Edison is that the creators are actually good at the game too. Like, but they can actually get good at the game in a reasonable amount of time. And they don't have to like study super hard. They can like just practice like playing against people in person. Anyway, speaking of being very competitive, I'm going to use this as a segue. I'm going to use this moment as a segue. We're going to close a lot of these tabs. And I'm going to segue into yesterday was our very first Edison format Discord monthly in the really big TCG Discord. It was the very first monthly. And I competed in it because I am practicing my tournament gameplay because I'm going to a big tournament. So I needed the practice. So yesterday was our very first monthly. Now I have 5 replays for you guys. that I'm going to pull up real quick. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this in a separate tab so I don't spoil it. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, chat. Chat, let me know. Have you guys ever played with the card Rescue Cat? Because it's a very powerful card. I entered yesterday's Discord monthly with my Rescue Cat Green Baboon deck. And let me tell you, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I really liked my deck. I really liked some of the interactions that were happening. Not all of them, but some of them. Here, I'm going to pull the deck up on stream so you guys can see it. Are there other formats that you like playing? I like playing other games. I think when I play Yu-Gi-Oh, I want to play Edison. Because to me, Yu-Gi-Oh is Edison. Like, Edison is Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh is Edison. I do enjoy Goat here and there. I do enjoy Critter here and there. But I don't enjoy anything after Edison beside maybe Bird Up, which is like a really modern format. And the only reason I like it is because it's like crackhead Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, I don't really like anything after Edison for the most part. It's like a different game to me. When I think Yu-Gi-Oh, when someone says Yu-Gi-Oh to me, I immediately think Edison. And when they say, oh no, I play modern Yu-Gi-Oh, that's when I'm like, oh, okay, we don't play the same game. Infamous J-Rod. I did play against J-Rod. So we're going to get you guys the deck list, and I'm going to get the replays pulled up here real quick. Just need a second. But what do you guys think of the deck? What are your first thoughts? You guys are looking at this deck for the very first time. You guys are looking at this deck for the very first time. What are your thoughts upon seeing this deck? And what is like your gut reaction to this? Because typically when I first look at a deck, I have like a first impression. I'm trying to capture what the chat's first impression is of the deck we are looking at here. It's a fun one. It's a fun one for me personally. It's one I've been working on a little bit behind the scenes. It's kind of a love letter to Carpath. I know he liked playing a similar deck to this, and this is my own spin on it. There's a few things here and there that are maybe a little bit questionable, but obviously we'll get into that with the gameplay. For the most part, it's a good time. There's a lot of opportunities for feel-good effects to happen, basically. Okay, let me grab all these tabs and then add them here. Boom. I think that works, right? Snap, there it is. Okay, there we go. All right, let's take a look at the deck. Let's get the chat pulled up here. You've never seen 6 of these cards and you make high-rated DB Edison content. What the fuck is this? All right, let's take a look. First impression is ouch DDV. Yes, that's definitely part of the first impression here. Kind of seems slow with the hamsters. Also, yes, a bit messy to be honest. We'll get to that. You've been waiting for this segment. Rescue Cat Green Baboon. Excuse me. All right, let's talk about the deck. So we've got 3 Super Nimble Mega Hamster. Nimble Mega Hamster gets us 3 different cards in this deck. So the first card it gets us is Airbellum. When you get to Airbellum, you can then flip the Airbellum on your turn and act accordingly. Synchro, or you can attack directly, hand rip, that sort of thing. Also gets us Raikou. Very obvious. Edison classic. Hamster into Raikou does a pretty good job of making Pot of Avarice live. And then Hamster can also get this little guy down here, Moja, which is a card that some people may not be familiar with. It's a 1-star monster, 100 attack, Earth Beast. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 level 4, specifically level 4 beast monster from your graveyard to your hand. So Hamster can grab Moja, Moja can grab back the Hamster, and you get kind of a little loop going on there. It's cute, it's adorable, but there are other reasons we play Moja, which we'll get into in a second. Obviously, Rescue Cat, it's a beast deck. Rescue Cat gets you Airbellums and Raikous. Oftentimes, Rescue Cat is just going to be a Catastor. That's typically what happens with Rescue Cat in this deck. We're not playing Summoner Monk because we don't play enough spells, and oftentimes I'm siding out my Upstart Goblins, so we'll be at 5 spells post board. The Airbellums are beast tuners. Moja can also recycle Cat. Yes, Chris Mans, you are correct. Sometimes you can go Rescue Cat, grab an Airbellum, grab your Moja, crash the Moja, maybe remove the monster with a discard trap, attack directly with Airbellum. Airbellum gets popped, you bring back Green Baboon, and then you have the Rescue Cat for the follow-up play next turn. There's a bunch of different things you can do with that, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that, all right? But yeah, Rescue Cat can grab Airbellum, Rescue Cat can grab Raikou, and Rescue Cat can, of course, grab Moja. So yeah, those are your main targets. Typically, you're going to be grabbing Airbellum Raikou, because getting Flip Effect Monster in the grave is actually pretty good, because we do play that Night Assailant, and making a 1-card Synchro is just good rate in Edison format. It's just a good rate, gets 3 monsters in the grave for your Avarice. Everything is nice here, right? So, Beast Striker is a card I wish I cut. I didn't like this card at all whatsoever. I had it because I have a lot of good cards to discard, right? If you look at the second row here, we've got Plague, Necro, Night Assailant, 3 great discards. And then we've got Green Baboon and Double King of the Beasts, who we'll get into in a second, which are also great discards. We have 6 good discards with Beast Striker. But if you ever draw your Moja, then Beast Striker's bad. And then if you also don't have King of the Beasts, then Beast Striker's not great, because you'll pitch, you'll grab a Moja, and then there's just no 4-star Beast in your grave, and it's just like, I just discarded a card from my hand to get a 1-star that does nothing. It's like not very good. So I think moving forward, I'll probably cut this guy. I think he was not very good. Even though he is resilient to deck dev, I know a lot of people mentioned, or someone mentioned that deck dev hurts this deck, which is true, it does. It does hurt this deck. Moja is an engine card. You only need to play 1. You shouldn't play more than 1, because this card, drawing this card sucks. It's just like a horrible card to draw. If you draw it, your Beast Striker becomes a vanilla, and it just doesn't do anything. It just really doesn't do anything. However, King of the Beast is really good. King of the Beast is a 2500 monster, 7 stars, Earth Beast. You can tribute 1 face-up Moja to special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. So that's pretty good. However, there can only be 1 face-up King of the Beasts, which again really limits how much you actually want this engine to be in your deck. So, what I'm working with here is kind of a bare minimum engine package, because you really don't need more than 2 King of the Beasts and 1 Moja. That's really all you need. What happens is, in the late game, your opponent will be low resources and you'll be low resources, but because of this little guy right here, you have infinite 2500 beaters. So what happens is you'll summon this guy, Yugioh, and he's got an effect that when he is normal summoned or flip face up, you can target 1 level 1 monster in your graveyard, special summon that target, but banish it when this card leaves the field. So you'll summon Yugioh, you'll get back your Moja, you'll sack the Moja, bring back King of the Beasts, and then at the end of the turn, because he's a spirit monster, he returns to your hand. So you're getting the idea here, right? Yugioh, bring back Moja, bring back King of the Beasts, return the Yugioh. Next turn, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. And you have infinite 2500 beater. The nice part about this too is he's also a beast. So if this is ever stopped with something like Torrential Tribute, Regeki Break, Deck Devastation Virus, that's where Green Baboon comes in. You pay 1,000, you can bring out Green Baboon from your hand or your graveyard, and then once your guys are popped, obviously Pot of Avarice is great, and you can recycle the Yugioh. So you really don't need more than 1 of this guy, because he's not going to get banished that easily. It's pretty hard for your opponent to banish him on your turn, right? They'd need like something weird like Karma Cut or Ultimate Offering into Caius or something like that. And so he's either going to hit the grave or just go back to your hand, or you're going to discard him. And then you can always recycle it with Pot of Avarice. So it's like, it's one of those cards that like you really only need 1 for the late game. And that's why I'm only playing 1 and then 1 Moja and 2 King of the Beasts. Because you don't really want them for the early game. The early game, they kind of suck. The early game, you want Hamster, you want Raikou, and you want Cat. And that's why I'm going really hard on the Hamster, the Raikou, and the Cat, because that's what I want my early game to look like. Sangan as well is like a nice early game card. Now another late game card here we've got is King Tiger. Now King Tiger in theory is a good late game card against frogs. In theory. And it's not terrible. And there's some other matchups it's not bad against either, like against Quick Draw or against Amaryllis kind of, or like Gigavice kind of. It's pretty insane in those matchups. So having just a 1 card way to just put him into play and just be like, all right, this guy stops you from doing all your busted stuff. It's good against zombies. It's good against fairies, to a degree, obviously. It's not bad. It's not bad is what I'll say about it as a 1-of. But maybe it shouldn't have been a main deck card. I was main decking one, I was siding one. I think maybe I could get away with cutting the one from the main. As for the tech cards, 1 DD Crow, it's a search card off Sangan. That's pretty much it. Helps you deal with stuff like Treeborn Frog. With Treeborn Frog, sometimes you'll Karma Cut one of them and then you'll Crow the other one. Then your opponent will be in an awkward position for the rest of the game. Night Assailant, if there's ever going to be a Night Assailant deck, it's going to be the deck with 5 discard traps, Beast Striker, and 6 flip effect monsters other than the Night Assailant. So he obviously overperforms in this deck. You'll see in the replays. Necrogarden and Plague, they're just good discard cards. They combo well with Karma Cut. And then obviously the engine requirement cards. As for the spell lineup, I was playing 3 Upstart, 2 Avarice. I think I would maybe switch those numbers. I think 3 Avarice might be the way to go in this deck. Heavy Storm, Space Typhoon, and Brain Control. Brain Control, I felt comfortable using. Mind Control, I don't know I have enough tuner access. I've only got Plague and 2 Airbellums and Cat. So it's only like 4 tuners. It's not enough conversion for Mind Control. I did consider it though. I am siding it for matchups that play Raikou and Hamster. So it is there. It's just, yeah, it's just a little too inconsistent for the main deck. 3 Upstart because I want to see my power cards. I want to see Solomon Dust Shoot because this is an underpowered deck. All right, it has some unique strengths. It has the infinite late game 2500. It has Destruction Resilience and Green Baboon. It has 1 card Synchros. It has Hamster Raikou, which is solid. It gets to play triple Karma Cut, which is a busted card. But this deck really needs to see its power cards. Like Solemn Dust Shoot make this deck go up a significant amount. As for the discard traps, I played 1 Phoenix Wing, 1 Regeki Break because I just wasn't sure what else to play here. 3 Karma Cut is the best one, so I played 3 of that one. 1 Bottomless, I don't know. I maybe could have played another one over Regeki Break or Wind Blast. I was just like, if I draw King of the Beasts, discarding him is functionally free, so might as well play the more versatile stuff. But I wasn't really sold on all that. So the main deck, it's close. The theory is pretty good. There's a lot of questions here. 1 for 1. Yeah, we don't play 1 for 1 because we only have 1 target. It's Moja. And like I said, you don't really want Moja until the late game anyway, in which case it's pretty easy to find him either off Nimble Mega, Cat, or Beast Striker. So you don't really need 1 for 1 for that. And 1 for 1 is just a hard -1. We don't want that in this deck. Another thing was why no Foolish Burial. I tested Foolish Burial. It didn't make the final cut because, again, you don't really need King of the Beasts early. You kind of just, like, will see him as the game goes. And he's your late game. He's like your finisher. You don't really need him that early. Getting him early is actually not that good because there's more Bottomlesses and Deep Prisons that he could run into. For the side deck, I just put a bunch of 1-ups because I was really uncertain about everything. The cards I actually used the most, I used Cyber Dragon, I used Smashing Ground, I used Compulsory. Those were like the 3 I used the most. And the more I play Edison, the more I'm impressed with Compulsory. That card's fucking fantastic. I should probably be playing like 3 of them. Alright, so this is the build I entered the tournament with. You see it in front of you. There is one interesting card in the extra deck, this Arcanite, that I probably shouldn't have in the extra deck. It probably should be a different monster. Let's go ahead and get into the tournament replays. You think Dandy Foolish Caius would be good in here? I don't really want to do that. That's like a different deck. I would just play Quick Draw at that point. Like King of the Beasts is our advantage engine, right? Like that's our late game. Obviously, Dandy Foolish and Caius is going to be better than whatever the fuck I'm doing here, but I don't know. I just wanted an infinite 2500 beater and discard traps. I don't think the Dandy tokens really contribute to that kind of gameplay. Why no Legacy when it could be Pot of Greed? Just because Legacy was a little slow, and the deck is pretty slow because it's a flip effect deck. This deck is slow. This deck is fucking slow as shit. Creature Swap sounds base. Creature Swap is a terrible card. It always sounds good, but it's never good. I'll actually show you myself beating someone who Creature Swapped me in this deck. Anyway, let's go into the tournament replays. We got round 1 up against Spore. And a lot of you guys know Spore. A very popular player. Nothing but good things to say about Spore. I think Spore's a pretty good player too, as far as I'm concerned. This is a Discord monthly for no stakes, so we're both playing some pretty creative decks. Not bad decks, but creative ones. I start off with Set Wind Blast, Set Hamster. What about Charge of the Light Brigade? That's not a bad suggestion. I think if I had the third Avarice, I would get the Charge of Light Brigade in there, possibly. Stem Kick, I think that's not a bad suggestion, especially with the third Pot of Avarice. Another card I really wanted was Transmigration Prophecy in the side. I wanted not only to be able to put my opponent's monsters back from their grave to the deck, but I wanted to be able to put back my own Pot of Avarices. So, yeah, set 2, and then pass the turn. Here comes Gemini Soldier. Just a swing, no supervise. Here comes Super Nimble, activating, special summoning Raikou. So we're up +1 here, solidly. We're about to go up +2 on the draw phase. Sets a back row. I decide not to Phoenix Wing end phase, even though I have 3 great discards, because this Phoenix Wing is higher priority for me. Hitting the Gemini Soldier if it becomes a guy. I upstart Goblin, I draw into another Raikou. My hand here is not that good. There are several ways to play it. I think the best way to play it is try to use Plague to Synchro. So I'm going to Raikou the Gemini guy. Mill 3. I normal Plague, and turns out he does have Torrential Tribute. The reason I did it in this order is because if I didn't mill the Green Baboon, I would have Phoenix Winged his back row. And since I did mill the Green Baboon, I can now just summon the Plague, and it's like, okay, well, you'll kill my board, but Plague hits the grave, and then I'll get a Green Baboon. It's like, it's not that bad. Like, I was basically just going to Synchro the Plague and the Nimble Mega and the Raikou into a functional Green Baboon anyway. So it's like I got everything I wanted for free. I got to pop both the Soldier and the Green Baboon. So go ahead and attack for 26. And we're in an okay spot here. We have 4 monsters in the grave for our Avarice. Pass the turn. Here comes set. And I'm just like, come on. I literally said in the chat, come on. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. So, I guess there's a bunch of different ways you could approach this. I make a bad play. I'll be honest. Bad play. The best play here is to just set Raikou, set Bottomless Pass. That's the best play. You know what play I'm going to make. Chat, what play do you think I'm going to make here? Chat, what play do you think I'm going to make here? It's not a good play, but what play do you think I'm going to make here? You know you have a Green Baboon somewhere. We all have one somewhere. What play do you think I'm going to make here? It's very obvious. It's very obvious. It's not a good play. It's not a good play. Doesn't Green Baboon miss timing because of the mill being Chainlink 1? Chris, I summoned Plague. He activated Torrential Tribute. Torrential Tribute was Chainlink 1. I flipped Raikou, destroyed his Gemini Soldier. That resolved. I summoned Plague. He activated Torrential Tribute. Then on that Torrential Tribute, which was Chainlink 1, I would be able to bring out Green Baboon. If he had chained Torrential Tribute to the Raikou effect, then yes, you would be correct, Chris Mans. However, because he did it on the summon of Plague Spreader Zombie, and he did it Chainlink 1, oh, you missed the Plague Summoning? Okay, yeah. Just making sure we're clear. But yes, you are correct. Green Baboon can miss timing if your beast is destroyed Chainlink 2 or higher. You're absolutely correct. That's something to be aware of when playing this deck. So, I'm going to attack here, because I'm a fucking idiot. And I get deprisoned, and I deserve that. And I mean, I'm winning this game if I don't attack there. And now I'm just sitting here like, fuck, why am I so stupid? Round 1, game 1, already misplayed. Let's go next. I set 2, he reinforced truths, and I'm just like, I'm fucking over this. I fucking lose. Supervise here cooks me. I don't know if he has it, but it cooks me. If he activates Supervise, then I Phoenix Wing his Gemini Soldier, then he special summons out the other one, normal summons that, and then fucking cooks me. But I don't know if he has Supervise. He decided not to go for it. He just normal summons the Gemini Soldier, and then I am going to Phoenix Wing and pitch King of the Beasts, and he's going to say, okay. Now, the reason I kept the Necrogarna here is because I can Synchro with Plague and Necrogarna to make Catastor, and Catastor is pretty good against this matchup. So that's why I kept the Necrogarna. I draw Torrential, which isn't terrible. What I should do here is maybe flip the Raikou, try to pop one of the back row, and just set the torrential, because I know he's going to go for some shit. So I think that's what I do. Yeah, I hit one that I had a good read that one was either defense for his set 4 or non-chainable. I milled the second King of the Beast, which is nice. It means I can Avarice and leave something. So I'm going to leave Plague. I do mill my Heavy Storm, which sucks, but it's what it is. Draw 2 new cards. I find both Moja and Beast Striker. Now, if we refer back to our deck list here, remember what I was saying about Beast Striker and Moja in this deck. If you draw your one of Moja, your Beast Striker becomes vanilla. And as you can see here, I've drawn them both. And I chose to keep Plague instead of King of the Beasts because I thought there would be a better chance that I wouldn't draw Moja and I'd draw something that would want the Plague. Instead, I drew 2 things that wanted the fucking King of the Beasts to remain. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Now, the best play here, you guys know it, is set Torrential Tribute, attack with Raikou, pass the turn. You guys know it. You guys know the best play here. But I'm a dumbass and I play into my own Torrential. So, tournament brain rot is fine. It's not great. Here he summons the Gemini Soldier, and I'm like, ain't no way you don't have Supervise. You would have used it last turn. And then he reveals last card Supervise. I'm like, why didn't he fucking use it last turn? And I'm actually so mad here. At this point, I'm just fuming. I'm just like, what the fuck? And then he brings out blah, 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 this guy, and I can't fucking Torrential because it's summoned in the damage step. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Makes no fucking sense. And so now I just lose everything. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck just happened? And then he can launch his Supervise to pop onto my back row, reborn his other Gemini Soldier, and it fuck cook me, bro. I'm cooked. It's over. I've lost. I Typhoon a book. I'm like, okay. I can make this work. Normal Necrogardna. Stack for Plague. Stack for Plague. What are the chances all 4 of his sets were live? 100%, apparently. He has a second book. I chain Torrential on the Summon of Plague. So Chainlink 1 book. Chainlink 2 Torrential. He's going to get to revive the Gemini Soldier. And even though I can Necrogardna this attack, I've stacked my deck now. And so I know I'm not drawing something that deals with this Gemini Soldier next turn. I'm so fucking mad. This game went horribly for me. I made 2 terrible misplays. I got greedy and thought there's no way he has a Supervised last card. He would have used it on the last turn. 1 wrong prediction. I got 1 terrible draw off Avarice. And I'm losing to fucking Gemini. What the fuck? What happened? What happened here? What went wrong? And I'm fucking tilted. I'm fucking tilted, bro. I'm fucking tilted. I've got a bottomless that he hasn't summoned anything the whole fucking game. I normal Rescue Cat off the top, and I'm like, thank God I deserve this. I deserve to draw my fucking power cards, okay? I deserve to rip Rescue Cat. Rescue Cat into Catastrophe, run over the Valk. It makes perfect sense, all right? Rescue Cat clears, or Catastrophe clears the Valk. He can no longer deal with Catastrophe with either Spark or the Soldier. And now he's probably just going to lose the Soldier and lose this Catastrophe slowly over the rest of the game. So, Lucky Top Deck bails me out. Lucky Top Deck bails me out. I draw Sangan, commit the Sangan, Torrential and Mirror Force are both gone, so there's really no reason to be afraid here. Clear the Soldier, get that shit out of here, and then attack the set. It's going to be a Dark Valkyria, which is actually a pretty smart play from him to set it there. Because now he forces me to attack either the Soldier or the set Valkyria, and in order to clear one or the other. And I was not able to clear the Valkyria. Even though he did know about the Beast Striker, I probably should have summoned that to attack this. But, you know, here we are. Valkyria gets normaled. I bottomless on the Gemini summon. This reminds me of this interaction that happened here. I said, are you normal? And he said Gemini summon. And then I said, it's more of a personal question. I don't think he got it. I don't think he understood the joke. Anyway, we just attack with both. He does rip an out to Catastrophe, I believe. Or not an out, but a wall. And turns out Rescue Cat's a good card because it's going to carry us here quite smoothly to victory. Sets Gemini Spark, I'm assuming. Normal summon Kinka. Bring back Moja. Sack for the King of the Beast. King of the Beast gets banished. He's going to spark the Catastrophe. We'll attack directly for 4. Or we don't attack directly. I should have attacked directly for 400 there. Bit of a misplay on my part. I missed damage. But Beast Striker's lethal, and there's no reason to give him a Gorge. So I think that's not necessarily a misplay. Pass the turn back. He summons the guy. and then I Karma Cut it, pitching the Kinka, and then the Beast Striker is now lethal, provided that that card does nothing. And it does nothing. Kind of funny that I drew Moja, Beast Striker, double King of the Beast there at the end. Kind of funny, but didn't matter. That one Rescue Cat was enough to get us there game one. Weirdly close game. All right. I didn't play very well either, so I need to tighten up my play. This game, I realized I didn't side out DD Crow, even though it kind of works against Supervise. It's not great. He sets 2. My hand's not great. I got Hammy. He's got another back row. I'm like, fuck. How do I do anything here? Hamster is so fucking ass. It's so bad. It's so slow, man. Like, if I flip it here, like, is that even good? Just pass. Bottomless, Shane Trap's done. Supervise, pop the Hamster. Honestly, I'm happy Supervise has traded 1-for-1 with Hamster there. My Hamster wasn't getting much better. Now we have an option here. Special summons Hyrule Dragon, Normal Plague, nuke the field. That's obviously pretty good. We've got Set Sangan, Turtle Up, try to find some powerful plays. I'm going to just go with Cyber Dragon and attack. Why would I do that? Why would I fucking do that? I guess he set 3, so I was a little bit afraid of like fucking... I was afraid of Gemini Spark a little bit, but I was also afraid of like Starlight Road because he set 3. But I should have just Black Rosed him because he set hella last game and... Yeah, I don't know. That butterfly ended your run in Birmingham. That's crazy. Set Sangan. Here comes Toon Magician. We're too far behind now, and our hand is too bricked, so we lose. We drew our late game early. That's something that happens in this deck. And we also drew 7 monsters and 1 trap card, so 8 monsters now. And then the draw is going to be, guess what? Guess what the draw is going to be? Guess what's going to be? A 9th monster! 9 monsters! No trap cards. Wow. Fucking sick, bro. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Sack Mojo for King. King runs over the Tomb Magician. He's got a second Deep Prison. I'm just fucking over it. So we go to the next game. Alright, we lost to hella back row because I'm a dumbass and didn't make black rows. So, couple of misplays. Game 1 and game 2. Game 1 and game 2, couple of misplays. But this game I drew some back row with my guys, which makes me happy. So, yeah, set Raikou, set my guys, pass. He's got the Mystic Swordsman. I'm just going to Mirror Force that shit. I want Raikou to hit back row, and I want compulsory to reuse the Raikou. That's the move here. Sets a bunch. Raikou flips. Boom. Raikou hits. D-Prison. Nice hit. Great mill. Classic. Normal Airbellum. Swing time. What do you got? Reinforced Truth. This is an interesting moment. So I replay, declare the attack. He goes for Ultimate Offering. Activates Ultimate Offering. I'm going to chain compulsory to the Gemini Soldier. Now, he is required to resolve Ultimate Offering and normal summon something. And he's going to normal summon Toon Magician. Then I'm going to end battle phase. He doesn't take this as an opportunity to Ultimate Offering out his soldier. I was kind of surprised by that. I would have done that on end battle phase. But he didn't do that. So, I don't know. Maybe he thought he could just do it on his turn. But, like, what if I have a way to clear this? Anyway, we smash and ground the Toon Magician, make Catastor, and then set Karma Cut. And we're actually looking pretty good here because I've got Karma Cut, I've got Knight Assailant to get back the Raikou, and Catastor deals with the Gemini Soldier that we know about. So he has 2 cards in hand to deal with our 2 cards. 3 cards technically because the Knight Assailant will get us back a Raikou. So we're just up a resource here. It's not great. No, White Boy with Motion. I will be going to the Team Starlight tournament that was scheduled before the LDS. All right. Set back row. Catastor attacks. You love Spore's deck. It's pretty cool. It's not my favorite build of this, but it's pretty cool. 2200. Pass. Draw. Pass. Draw. Set 2. And then here I go straight to end phase to not allow him to battle phase use his Ultimate Offering so that I could dash shoot him and just checkmate him. So, yeah. That's what I do. Go to M phase, able to take his last monster. These 3 cards don't do anything. Back row already provably doesn't do anything to the Catastor. He's just dead. So, had to shoot that back. I've got Solemn. I've got Karma Cut plus Knight Assailant still. I know he can't stop the Cerebellum rip. But yeah, this was a power card game. I had a lot of power cards. I had Mirror Force. I had Dust Shoot. And I think Spore's Engine never got online. His engine never got online. I have a lot of ideas for the Gemini deck, but I don't play cards like Toon Magician in it. So that was round 1. I won round 1. As expected, I'm playing as fucking Gemini, alright? Gemini's a good deck, but I think it needs to be built a certain way. Round 2, I play against the Ghost Creator. The Ghost Creator who's in chat right now. Shout out the Ghost Creator. So Ghost Creator starts off with Defender the Magical Knight, which is actually impossible for my hand to deal with. So I'm just like, well, fuck me. I lose. I actually lose. This is fucking annoying. I upstart Goblin. What do I find? Something, please. Oh. Now here, this is a big wish. This is a very big wish. I set Mirror Force, and I hope that the Ghost Creator doesn't know how Defender works. That's my big wish. I'm going to set Sangan, set Mirror Force. And okay, the hand is full of cards. The chances that Arcanite is coming out is pretty high. All right? But what I'm really hoping for is that she goes for Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer or like a Dark Elf or something like that, and then just attacks. Then I can Mirror Force clear both of them. Because Defender the Magical Knight has to remove one for each. It can't remove to defend just one. So if I Mirror Force and there's only one spell counter, the Mirror Force just works. So I am hoping that the Ghost Creator plays into that and doesn't know this ruling. This is my only chance at beating Defender the Magical Knight here, because I lose to this on the spot. Unfortunately, you guys know what's happening, all right? Instant Fusion's coming out. Musician King. Here comes a Knight and Sorcerer. Really cool card. And this is an Arcanite Magician. So Arcanite Magician's going to get made. Arcanite Magician can remove spell counters from anywhere on the field, not just itself. Pretty important to remember here. Arcanite Magician's going to remove a counter, pop our back row. That's going to take out the Mirror Force. So Dream's gone. Dream's dead. We're cooked. Thankfully, I set the Sangan, so the Sangan will at least get us to Rescue Cat. Going to remove one from the Defender to keep the Arcanite's attack stat in a reasonable amount. And heads up play from the Ghost Creator. Technical play, batting 1,000 right now. Sangan's going to search, grab Rescue Cat. Next up comes Spell Power Grasp. Boy. Fucking. Spell Power Grasp, placing another counter on Arcanite Magician. Now Arcanite Magician goes up to 2,400 attack again. We're going to be taking 4,000 to the dome here. 4,000 to the face. It ain't looking good. It ain't looking pretty, boys, because if there's a single back row there, I mean, I have Heavy Storm, so I can get to Catastor, all right? I can get to Catastor, but this is really dicey. Defender's really good against this deck. Our whole deck is destruction effects. So if this Defender can get protected in any capacity. That being said, I know one of the cards in hand is a Spell Power Grasp, so I know that that's not going to be a live card right now. We're going to take 16 and then 24. Now, something like Phoenix Wing Windblast here, or like Trap Dust Shoot, or I don't know. Something along those lines, plus like a Secret Village, it'd be over. It'd be over. There's nothing I could do. Back row plus Secret Village, game's over. I draw Starlight Road. I'm like, all right, maybe that does something. Rescue Cat activate. Going to go ahead and make Catastor. And now Catastor can clear the Arcanite. So what's going to happen here is Catastor is going to activate the effect to pop the Arcanite Magician. Defender can remove a counter to protect from Ally of Justice effect. But then we'd go to damage. And then Catastor would run over the Arcanite Magician. And then it would die. Do you think that has made RBET fall off? What is this? Who are these fucking people? Why is it always like the most bot-ass usernames coming in here? No, absolutely not. Bro, you're telling me 4 years of running sold-out tournaments in tandem with the biggest organizations in the world, including throwing the biggest event of this year already, is falling off, then you're fucking smoking crack. And no, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I'm not going to knock players if they want to go to an event. I'm not going to knock players if they want to go to an event. If people want to go to an event, that's chill. Especially an event where someone's paying you to go to it. Fuck it. Get your free shit. Fuck it. get your free shit. All right? RBET exists. RBET exists to make events like that exist. Those events don't exist without RBET. The opposite isn't true. I hope you understand that, Andy. I hope that that makes sense to you. I don't know if people understand that yet. Maybe they're coming around to it. But, yeah. Anyway. Set a bunch pass. RBET is intercontinental. Yeah, we're literally going to be hitting multiple continents with RBETs. I think we're trying to line one up for Ho Chi Minh and Vietnam as well as obviously Australia, Europe, and like every single one sells out. Like, what do you mean? Bro's like, actually, you fell off, and it's like, bro, 2 weeks ago I was in fucking Vienna. What? Selling the biggest tournament of the year. What do you mean fell off? Oh my god. Zero brain cell ass chatter. Bottomless the tricky. Normal summon magical exemplar. Activate spell Power Grass. Chain Regeki break on the exemplar. Give defender the counter. Punished here. I saw a Heavy Storm. I'm going to chain Starlight Road. That's going to get solemn. I'm going to lose my whole back row, but Catastrophe is enough to go the distance. RBT Antarctica. One day. All three of us in Antarctica are going to play Edison format down there. That'd be hype. Anyway, run over the set Endymion, set the Raikou, and we've taken control of this game, Catastrophe being an MVP, of course. Flip Raikou, pop the set. Hopefully Avarice into something good. Even if we didn't need to Avarice into something good here. Actually, the optimal play was stack for Plague, make Armory Arm attack for 4,000 and win the game. But I'm missing Lethal because I'm stupid. There you go. Out of curiosity. Channel activity. 0 chat messages in the last year. This is a bot, bro. That's so funny. Gold Sark for instant fusion. Allure of Darkness, draw 2, Banish Breaker, set 1. This is round 3, by the way. Oh no, this is not round 3. This is game 2. Round 2. Set. Breaker's always scary. This I was actually pretty impressed with here. Crystal Seer flip into attack the set Raikou is pretty annoying. It's pretty annoying. But thankfully she summons more into my cards and gives me the opportunity to use my Raikou for more. And I even get a creature swap out of it as well. Now here's the thing. You didn't even need to creature swap me. You could have just attacked the set and you take the trade and then you keep the card in hand. It's probably the better play there. But alas, I'm going to be able to make Bryonic with Rescue Cat and Crystal Seer and then bounce my own Raikou. And that's where shit goes wrong. White Boy with Motion says, glad there's more around. Me too. Especially this one that I'm competing in. The Team Starlight tournament. I'm really excited for this. I love the guys in Team Starlight. They're all awesome. They're all cool. I have nothing but nice things to say about them. The fact that they're like putting on for the community makes me really happy because there's no event I would rather attend than one put on by them. They're all like infinitely better at this than me too. Like if there's like a Edison content creator that's like just killing it, it's Team Starlight, dude. Anyway, here comes a weird play, but I have to make Stardust because otherwise I lose to Arcanite Magician. I think I lose to Arcanite Magician no matter what here. So let's take a look at the hand. I want to get like an idea of what's going on here. Yeah, never mind. I was thinking... this is so strange. This is such a strange hand. How do you even play this? Okay, let me think. You could make... The best play here is probably... Let's probably make not Arcanite, actually. Let's probably just make Ancient Fairy in defense. Or instant fusion a 4 and then make Goyo. And Goyo takes Stardust. Or actually, no, wait. Instant fusion out of 4 and then make Bryonic priority bounce the Stardust, and then I probably lose. But yeah, there's a lot here that kills me. I was forced to make this Stardust because I would die to the Arcanite if I didn't. And I knew the instant fusion was coming off the Gold Sark. But you can just instant fusion and just make something else, and then I will also lose. So I'm dead lost here unless things go poorly. But I'm able to rug the Breaker, which is kind of nice, and that was the normal summon. So now the Tricky and the Crusader just get burned for nothing. And then I draw Airbellum, and then Airbellum's able to hand rip. So all of my advantage happens here. Got a bit too in your head about the back row. If you look at my grave, one bottomless is gone, so the only thing stopping you is like another bottomless or solemn. It's a pretty low chance that I have those cards. Discard traps could stop you too, but then it forced me to discard the last card in my hand, and that's a pretty favorable exchange for you. Later in the game, you can find a way to Lightning Vortex and then special summon Night End Sorcerer as a way to deal with Stardust. Stardust will negate the Vortex, you'll special out the Night End, and then banish the Stardust. But I probably should have lost this one. But yeah, tough stuff. Spellcasters. Interesting deck, a lot of play to it. I think that there's a lot of potential. All right, moving on, round 3. Round 3 is up against Infamous J-Rod. I have his deck list. I should probably pull that up too. Give me 1 second, boys. One second, boys. Infamous J-Rod. He sent me the deck list. Here it is. Open image in new tab. All right. Let me pull that up so you guys can see what we're playing against. This is probably the worst matchup for our deck. It's plants. Not necessarily this plant build, but specifically plants in general are... specifically plants in general are a bad matchup. So like the reason is like look at our deck. Okay, look at our deck configuration. I have 6 fucking Raikos that all target. I have Knight Assailant which targets, so that's 7 cards that target. I have Brain Control, 8 cards that target. 5 of my back row target. So I have 13 fucking cards that target. 13 cards. Almost a third of my deck. Basically a third of my deck is completely shut off by Titanial. Sick. And this is the triple fertilizer build where he's gonna get Titanial out every single game. Awesome. Super stoked. Super stoked about that. Very happy. Again, looking at the build, it's gonna be a tough one. All the back row's good against us. All the spells are good against us. Titanial is the single best card in the game against Rescue Cat decks. There's actually a fun quote from Billy Brake talking about Edison testing with Jeff Jones. A lot of you guys may be not familiar with this deep lore, but I'll fill you in. Billy Brake said that he could not beat the Quick Draw Plant deck with Rescue Cat. He said that Jeff Jones like 16-0'd him or something like that. Rescue Cat is so bad into plant decks, it is almost unwinnable. It is like one of the worst matchups you could have for Rescue Cat decks. And on top of that, our Rescue Cat deck is a gimmicky Rescue Cat deck. Like, we're not even playing a real Rescue Cat deck like X-Saber or Glads. But Rescue Cat decks get obliterated by plant decks. It's like, for some reason, the resources line up really bad. The best thing you can do is just summon a Catastor and pray they don't draw one of their 20 outs. And they have 20 outs. So some of them are reusable and searchable too. So yeah, start off with Upstart and fucking Beast Striker. On top of that, I have 6 fucking monsters, 5 fucking monsters, and a dead card in my hand. And I'm just like, oh my god. And I draw 6 monster. This entire tournament, I was drawing hella monsters. And I was like, man, I don't even think 21 monsters is that high. But I guess it is. I guess it just fucking is. You know? Anyway, flip Raikou, hit the back row, chain Tarantula. We mill fucking King Tiger. We mill one of our Airbellums, and now If we draw a second Airbellum, it's dead. So I've been thinking about adding a third Airbellum, but I'm not really sure about it. Beast Striker, pitch King of the Beast, special Moja, bring back King of the Beast. I don't know what he's playing right now, so I'm just going to hit for 4350 and hope that's good enough. Pass the turn back. He's got trade in, pitch Titanium. I'm just like, fuck. Normal Lone Fire. Fuck. Special summon Titanium. Okay. All right. I get you. Set back row. Bruh. Okay, so what we can do here is Torrential is gone. If he has Mirror Force, that's tough. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to Brain Control, try to out the Titanium. It's going to trade, normal Sangan, attacks, and then attack with King of the Beast. He's going to Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, King of the Beast. Discarding Snipe Hunter. So, technically discarding not a real card, because Snipe Hunter is not a real card, but very annoying. It means I'm drawing King of the Beast next turn. That being said, I have the Yugioh Moja King of the Beast setup going. This is one of the matchups where it's at its worst, though, because if he just puts a Titanium into play, King of the Beast does nothing. So, this is not like Machina or Black Wings, where like a repeated 2500 is actually good. This is like a deck where they can just put a bigger monster into play, and I can't do anything about it. So, yeah, set the Solemn. He has Typhoon for the Solemn. He has Miracle Fertilizer. So I'm just getting fucking Power Spelled here. Trade in into Lone Fire, into Typhoon, into Miracle Fertilizer. And I'm just like, all right, when I play Amaryllis, I don't draw like this, but it is what it is. We're going to shuffle away the King of the Beasts with Sangan. So we'll grab DD Crow because if I can't out this Titanium, if he sets another back row, then I need to prevent the third Titanium from coming into play. So he sets a back row. I'm like, of course he draws a third back row in his deck with 3 fucking back row. Literally perfect draw. Literally perfect. Or you can't stack a better draw with this deck. Rescue Cat, make Cataster, attack. It's Phoenix Wing, of course. Hidden Armory, grabs Mark of the Rose. He just misses lethal. He knows I have DD Crow because I searched it off Sangan. Hidden Armory, search DDR. Miracle Fertilizer, force the DD Crow. And if I don't DD Crow, you bring back Titanium, attack me for game. So, whatever. Just miss lethal on top of that. J-Rod, that's fine. That's chill. Not like I was going to win this one anyway. Force the Karma Cut to Titanium. He has fucking the top deck Debris Dragon to make a Synchro. I pitched Necrogard now so I can survive one draw, but there isn't a single draw on my deck at this point outside of Avarice that gets me out of this situation. Synchros into Black Rose, attacks. I draw Upstart. I draw Karma Cut. That technically works. I need an Avarice draw here. Set monster, set back row. I draw King of the Beast. He mills fucking Dandelion off Raikou that he preemptively flips. And he can stack for Plague and Synchro, so sick. Not lethal into cores. That's so funny. That's really funny that you would think I have room for Gores in my horrendous deck. It is also lethal into Gores, for the record. It still beats Gores because double Titanium beats Gores. Anyway, moving on. I gotta go first. I have Torrential. Pass. He summoned Titanium, what, like 3 times? Or could have summoned it 3 times. Trade in, Torrential, charge the Light Brigade. Let's see, does he mill well? Yup, hits Necrogard now. Fuck this game, man. Fuck this game. Come on, bro. Miracle Fertilizer, 4 power spells, turn 1. I sick. Sick, bro. Sick. Fucking awesome. Nice. Lovely. Alright, smashing the Titanium. Set the Raikou. I know he has Lila, so I'm not going to set the Karma Cut. Top deck. Oh, Lone Fire Blossom. What the fuck is this grave, bro? What the fuck is this grave? Oh my god. Raikou, try to hit the back row. He lets that resolve. He keeps the Titanium playing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Negate the Raikou, my brother. Negate the Raikou. I clearly can out the Titanium. If you ever see this situation come up, where Raikou's targeting the back row, it means I can out the Titanium. So you keep your back row. You negate the Raikou and you keep your back row because I can't out that. It's a huge tell, so bit of a misplay on his part, but maybe it's his only piece of pressure. Thankfully, I didn't mill my second Airbellum there, or my 2 Raikous. I'm able to just fucking make Cataster and out this Titanium. Somehow, Somehow through this, I am alive. I swing to force the Necrogardna. I set the Karma Cut past the turn. He sets a monster passes the turn. I pop the Titanial. I summon Airbellum. I make Stardust to play around to set Raikou and the Lila that I know about. He summons the Lila. He activates the effect. I'll take my +1. He flips Raikou. He targets Karma Cut. I kind of choke here. I should have kept the Beast Striker in hand. I shouldn't have Karma Cut the Raikou. And the reason I shouldn't have Karma Cut the Raikou is because I can Kinkabyo, Special Summon Moja, crash the Moja into the Raikou, add back Rescue Cat. Or Hamster. So I made a mistake. Having the face-up attack position Raikou here is actually good. And then keeping the Beast Striker in hand actually would have been pretty good for us as well. So he mills 3, mills Plague. Stardust is going to come back M phase. We're going to draw for turn. It's going to be Phoenix Wing. Beautiful piece of interaction. Finally, I draw 4 pieces of interaction. That's all I'm asking for is 4 pieces of interaction. Look how many fucking monsters I've used this game. My kingdom for a 4th piece of interaction. And we finally got there. 1,000, 25s. Set the Phoenix Wing past the turn. He sets a back row past the turn. I'm just going to hit for the same amount. I could have summoned the Nimble Mega to threaten lethal. I could have done that. Actually, probably should have done that. That was pretty stupid. Probably should have done that. But I was a little bit nervous his back row was Phoenix Wing. And so I just wanted to force it with the Stardust. And it wasn't. Didn't end up being Phoenix Wing at all. So he's going to summon Card Trooper, mill 3. Totally chill. Misses, finally, for once in his life. Then he DDRs back the Necrogardna. And because I don't want him to get this Necrogardna in the grave, and I want to leave him in a bad spot, I'm just going to Phoenix Wing, put the Necrogardna back on top of his deck. And now he's just boned and dead on play. So, yeah. Sick. Actually fucking 1-1. Despite the most insane opening. And all of that happened because he misplayed. All of that happened. He had to misplay. He had to not negate my Raikou. He had to let me pop his back row. If he doesn't make that mistake, I just win. Like if he doesn't make that mistake, I just lose. So, accidental zoom. Clearly, the matchup is not good. Like I'm doing everything I can. I went first, and it wasn't enough. Like without him making a mistake. So yeah, I don't know. Trade in pitch Amaryllis, set monster pass. Normal Raikou to trade with Raikou. It's a classic play. Set bottomless. I'm a bottomless Delilah. He's already got Amaryllis, Lone Fire in the grave. I mean, this game's over. There's nothing I can do. Aditi Crowless. Passes. Set Hamster pass. He's got Card Trooper for the Hamster. He mills a Dandelion. I was like, come on, man. Hits the Hamster. Hamster has to grab Raikou here because grabbing Airbellum doesn't even fucking do anything. I have nothing to synchro with, and I need to mill to get my Avarice live. I draw Beast Striker. I summon Beast Striker to run over the Card Trooper. He's going to draw a card. I could have popped the token so he couldn't tribute summon a Titanial, but if his whole turn is tribute summon a Titanial, I have Smashing Ground, so I'm like kind of okay with it. He Hidden Armories, mills Titanial, grabs DDR back. He's able to DDR back his fucking Lone Fire, and sick, bro. Fucking sick, bro. Fucking sick. Nah, this is a real thing that decks do. Oh my god. This is fucking crazy. Of course we draw King of the Beasts. Maybe I'll draw Rescue Cat, I'll be able to make a Caster. Nope. King Tiger the turn after you get Lone Fired on is the most infuriating shit. Most infuriating shit. So we lose this one. Alright, 2-1. 2-1, not ideal. Shout out to J-Rod. This is his deck list if you want to copy it. Fucking insane luck mode activated. Moving on, next match. So we're 2-1 in the tournament, in the monthly. And we're playing up against Dario, who's a very powerful duelist. You guys may know him from the RBET fucking RBET. What is the RBET stream? Vienna. RBET Vienna stream. RBET Vienna stream. Upstart Goblin draws King Tiger. My hand's okay. I set Hamster. I set Karma Cut. Had I known what he was playing, I would have summoned the King Tiger. I know Dario likes Hero Frogs, but I would have summoned the King Tiger. He goes set. I just set again. Trying to match his energy, you know. Summon Stratos. I just kind of let that go. He attacks the new set, which is interesting. Typically, you want to attack the old set, but he attacked the new set, which I'm kind of fine with. I'm going to go grab Rescue Cat. Here, he sets a back row. I draw a Regeki Break. He Water Arts. I have to solemn that because I just don't want him to see my hand and know what I'm doing. I set Raikou because I'm trying to damage set, pop whatever this back row is. I set a new back row, and unfortunately, he has Typhoon, so now my Raikou is bad. So, bit of a misplay on my part. He goes for a Miracle Fusion, and I actually made a mistake here. This is probably a game-losing mistake. I was supposed to Karma Cut the Stratos in response to the Miracle Fusion. It's like not even worth watching the rest of this game because of how frustrating that it was. But yeah, I should have Karma Cut the Stratos there, and he loses his Miracle Fusion and his Stratos for like a Moja and a Karma Cut. And I still have Hamster Raikou, and he has no Frog access, and then I'm double hand ripping him next turn with Airbellum and Urbellum. Fuck, dude. What a punt. But this is why we practice. This is why we practice. But yeah, if I just Karma Cut the Stratos there, I'm actually just fucking dominating. Oops. Guess I'm ass. Either way, I'm getting a hand rip in, so it's not the same as it could have been, but we hit a brain control, so I can't really complain. He's got Alias to run over the Airbellum. Shit, alright, bro. I got Rescue Cat for the fucking Catastor, pop the guy. Normal summon Substitute. I hold the Starlight Road correctly. Watch this shit. Grab Swamp Frog, send the Treeborn Frog. You know how this goes. Watch this. I draw Bottomless. Now the obvious play here, is to summon Wang Hu, attack with Bull, set both back row. That's the obvious play. But the correct play is to hold the Starlight Road. Because if I draw one of my 3 remaining discard traps, I want something to be able to discard so that the Karma Cut will be live if I draw a Karma Cut. And Heavy Storm, while it's real, he would have to have Heavy Storm plus like several other things to beat Wang Hu plus Catastor. So there's actually no reason to set the Starlight Road here. That's actually a misplay. It's a misplay to set the Starlight Road here. So I attack for 17 and then 22. But this is exactly why there's one King Tiger in the deck. You want to get to this sort of like late game state against frogs. You summon the King Tiger, and then you have a big enough guy that clears set dupe frogs, and then you have played through the hero stuff. And they basically specifically need to have Miracle Fusion or whatever. I set 2. He sets 2, passes. I decided to just attack. He Regeki breaks the King Tiger. And as you can see, I'm instantly punished. I drew Karma Cut. So fucking mad. The correct play is to keep the Starlight Road in hand. Now, obviously, setting the Starlight Road is good if he has a second Miracle. If he has a second Miracle, then I can Bottomless, and then after I Bottomless the Absolute Zero, I can Starlight Road the effect. Right? So it's good if he has a second Miracle, but it's bad if I draw specifically Karma Cut. The situation is he doesn't have a second Miracle, and I draw specifically Karma Cut. So I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. Brings back Treeborn, sacks for Caius. I'm going to chain Bottomless, take 1,000. I draw DD Crow. I can Crow this Treeborn Frog, but then my Karma Cut's dead because this fucking Starlight Road is in play, which never should have been in play. Brings back Treeborn Frog, summons the Ocean, sets a back row, passes. I go ahead and just Karma Cut the Ocean now. Pass the turn. He rips Miracle. He goes for it and he attacks. I mean, he had 2 heroes, so like there's really nothing I could have done. But this whole thing stems back to me letting that first Absolute Zero hit play. This whole game stems back to that. So like I punted this game, played like fucking idiot. Very frustrating. But you live and you learn. You're like, all right, wake up, Keegan, wake up, lock in. My hand's not too bad. I have King Tiger. I have a couple other things, but I don't have a way to put a 2,000 monster into play, and I don't have a way to make my average live, and I have like multiple late game cards in a hand that doesn't really want multiple late game cards. So it's not great. And hopefully he doesn't have Stratos. Of course he has Stratos. Of course they have Stratos. They're like 40% to start Stratos. So, I mean, odds are in my favor, but no, they're not. Let's be real. He's going to summon Stratos. He's going to search Alias. I'm forced to Regeki break the fucking Stratos, which is really annoying. I hope I draw something good. I draw Karma Cut. It'll at least keep the King Tiger alive. He's going to deep prison. I'm going to compulse my King Tiger because I just need that to play this game. Summons Alias. It's fine. He attacks. Karma Cut, pitch the Crow. I'm trying to get to 5 monsters here. I draw a Hamster. That'll get us to 5 monsters. Incredibly slowly. The Hamster is so bad. It doesn't even out like a set Substitute. And because he asked me this very specific question, I know he has Substitute in hand. He's going to set it. So that's a set Substitute right there. I draw Rescue Cat, but I can't summon it under my own King Tiger. I flip the Nimble Mega to grab Raikou just because Nimble Mega is getting Monarched, so might as well get the body. Yep. He attacks over the King Tiger. Oh, this is so bad. I summon Airbellum, but of course he has the stop for the Black Rose. Discards Mirror Force, telling me the rest of his hand is pretty fucking good. I switch the Mega Hamster. I can still come out on top this game. That's the crazy part. I get Water Arted, and he makes a misplay. He should have taken Avarice there. Taking Cat. Leaving me with Cat doesn't... I guess technically, if I have double Airbellum, I can smashing double Airbellum hand rip him twice, but... yeah, I guess maybe that's not a misplay. I would have to have 2 Airbellums left in deck, though, for him to... Yeah. I Avarice now, so... and then we draw King Tiger again, which is really awkward because it's a 1-of. I don't even think I sided the second one in. Smashing Ground, attack for 17, and the Dust Shoot is awkwardly dead here. Pass the turn, sets a monster, I draw Airbellum, I summon Synchro into Airbellum, attack over his Dupe Frog. The fact that his Dupe Frog is actually kind of nice, because now he's going to go to 4 cards in hand for my Dust Shoot. So I set the Dust Shoot, and I'm like, I'm going to Dust Shoot his Swap Frog. He's not going to get to Treeborn Frog, and then the game's going to end. Unlucky for me, he top deck fucking Evil Guy, Infernal Guy. And so now I have to take that shit, or else I'm going to die to fucking Vanity's Fiend. So I'm like consistently 1 card behind this entire game. It's so fucking annoying. I summon Hamster because set Hamster doesn't fucking do anything against this, and maybe I can rip Brain Control, win the game. Or something similar. Like I said at the beginning of this video, Smashing Ground and Compulsory, they really did a lot of work. I think I should play more of those. Attacks. Brings back the Treeborn. He goes for Caius. And you're going to see something really funny here. Caius is the Hamster, runs over the Airbellum. Now imagine, I drew this pulling the rug instead of the Hamster last turn, and he went for that Caius. Unlucky. So, unlucky game. I just drew everything in the wrong order. He sacks for Vanities now. I take the damage. I top deck Rescue Cat, which is infuriating, obviously, as you can imagine. Yeah, I just drew them in the wrong order. Had I had the rug for the Caius, then top deck the Cat afterward, then it's just game. You guys get the idea. You get the idea. You get the idea. But, yeah, we, unfortunately lost 2 matches. We're now 2-2 going into the last round of the Discord Monthly, which, by the way, if you guys want to play in these, join the Discord in the description below. And I'm up against Hex. Shout out Hex. I've opened some interesting cards. I've got my Night Assailant, which can be good with the Raikou that I'm going to get off Rescue Cat. And then I've got Green Baboon and King of the Beast. So, playing against Spaceships. Interesting matchup. It's probably pretty good for him. Set the Hamster. Spaceships actually is a slept on deck, I think. Here comes a Super Nimble, and he is going to activate his skill successor to pump up his guy, run over the Hamster, and get a token. So, he's going to go grab a token. 1500. 1500 attacks into the Raikou. Raikou's going to pop the Blue Thunder. But he's just up. And check out that mill. Beautiful. So now I can only cat once this game. It's going to be a much harder game. I've got Solemn, so I'm feeling a little confident. I go for the cat. I try to make Catastor. Because Catastor pops all these guys. Doesn't matter about the skill successor. And he's got main deck Cyber Dragon. I saw him. He's got his 1-of Call of the Haunted. Alright. Sick. Take 2000. Limited removal for game. Fucking awesome, bro. The restricted list getting dropped on my poor fucking head, bro. Jesus Christ. What did I do? Hex, what did I ever do to you? Alright, this game's a little better. I got some sauce. You got Card Trooper. Of course, Card Trooper has run over my Hamster way more than it should have this tournament. The fact that it's happened like 3 times is so weird. And face Typhoon is shit. Draw, Sangan, flip, get a hand rip. Main phase 2, make that boy the guardian of the Goyo. Let's see what we get. What do we rip out of his hand? I forget. Raikou. Sick. Goyo Guardian. Grab ourselves Night Assailant. The reason I grab Night Assailant is because I have Karma Cut and I have a Hamster in the grave. I don't know if that's the right grab. Maybe I should have grabbed Cat, but I just wanted to flex the Night Assailant swag. So he goes attack. I Karma Cut. Pitch the Night Assailant. Add back the Hamster. And he passes. Attack for 28. Set Hamster. Set Force. Pass the turn. This is when this deck looks good, when it's just doing like Karma Cut Hamster shit. Karma Cut Hamster is actually a really good core, especially with Night Assailant. I think that core could be implemented in a lot of different decks. Here comes Charged Light Brigade, grab Lila. Lila's pretty good here. Lila into Eltanin. Oh, but he goes for True Nade. And now he's just fucking cooking me with like Honest and shit. And I'm like, wow, okay. There goes my Hammy. Hammy grabs Raikou. And phase mills 3. On our turn, flip Raikou, pop the Lila. Summon Plague, Synchro into Armory Arm. Contact with the Cyber Dragon into Chimera Tech. And then I have Crow, Mirror Force, Chimera Tech, plus Raikou follow-up, plus whatever 2 cards we draw into his 1 card. And we're looking pretty good here. So this game, things went in our favor. We resolved Hamster a bunch. He has the Blue Thunder. And then he attacks. And I got Mirror Force. Now we'll just go next. So, sick. He's playing a cool deck. I don't think it's a bad deck. We just had it all that game. Our engine was going off. Because we saw Raikou last game, I feel confident swinging Sangan into the set. His mills are equally terrible as ours were game 1, so it's a trade-off. Set, pass. Oh no, just set compulsory for the Cyber Dragon. Unfortunately, he does have Breaker, which is really annoying. Never want to compulse that, so he's just going to plus on us. It's tough. Had I set the bottomless as well, I could have hit the Breaker, but it's just a little bit nervous of Heavy Storm being set. I don't know. Set Hamster, set bottomless. Here comes Heavy Storm, chain skill successor. He did end up having the Heavy Storm, so delaying the bottomless set, it wouldn't have mattered really that much, but because he had Breaker anyway. But yeah, here comes Blue Thunder. Hamster's going to go ahead and grab Raikou. Oh no, I grabbed Moja to grab back Hamster. I'm just kind of trying to float resources here. He gets a token, he hits us for 1,500, so a little bit of free value there from him. A lot of free value this game from him, but he's had to Heavy Storm his own back row. His mill wasn't great, and we're still somehow even on cards, and we're about to be up cards. Special Cyber Dragon, contact with the Blue Thunder. You can't contact with tokens, because Chimera Tech says that you need to send it to the graveyard. The token cannot be sent to the graveyard, so you can't make Chimera Tech with the token. And I am scared of Honest, which I'm sure he has. He doesn't, but in my mind, I'm sure he has Honest, right? So I make Chimera Tech. I go ahead and summon Rescue Cat. Launch, grab my boys, mind control the token because I'm scared of Honest. Synchro into Black Rose Dragon because it's the strongest thing that I can do. And then attack for 1,600. Hopefully try to get a nice little hand rip here. I believe I hit his Spaceship, which is the worst card in his hand, but whatever. And then 2k to the Dome. Set Bottomless Pass. Lila to break the back row. Special Summon Chaos Sorcerer. Banish the Black Rose. Actually a pretty stable position for him if we didn't get back our Hamster earlier. I'm going to set the Hamster. He's going to summon Jane. Attack into the Chimera Tech. And end phase mill 2. We're going to draw into Pot of Avarice. I'm going to set Raikou now. And pass the turn. He's going to attack the Hamster now. Hamster's going to activate. We'll go grab our last Raikou. And then he'll attack this set Raikou. And this Raikou is going to hit the back row. We mill 3, hitting double King of the Beasts. End phase, he mills 2. He hits Elton and Cyber Dragon. We draw Solemn Judgment, best card in my deck. We're probably going to win here. So, Raikou flip, pop the Sork, mill Plague. And now I can make Catastor, pop the Jane through Honest. And that's what I'm going to do. And set. I believe he does have another Cyber Dragon. Yep, but I do have Solemn Judgment for it. Just like game 1. This time, no Call of the Haunted, thankfully. Attack for 22. Set back row. Attack for 22. And that's going to be the game. So I ended the tournament 3-2. Not a bad first showing for the deck. But not a good one. I would say I played terribly against in the Frog matchup, especially game 1. And the Plant matchup looked nearly unwinnable. So I think I want to make some changes with this deck. I do like the concept of late game, this guy plus Moja plus King of the Beast is just infinite resources. And I do like the idea of late game King Tigers. I think it's kind of a cool late game card in some matchups, not all matchups. But maybe he starts in the sideboard. I didn't like Beast Striker. I wanted a third Airbellum. I wanted a third Avarice. Avarice felt like the best card consistently, especially when the hamster and the cat were resolving. Night Assailant overperformed, put in a lot of work. The DD Crows didn't feel exceptional, but I felt safer having them than if I didn't. The Karma Cuts were obviously MVPs, and Solemn was an MVP as well. 4YEO says, you enjoyed that people were playing more fun decks, was unexpected. Typically, the players in the Discord are pretty creative. I think our Discord is like where a lot of brewers come to hang out. That's where Tim did a lot of practicing with his Offering Frogs deck that he's now topped 18 tournaments with. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the like future brewing happens in our Discord, which is really cool. And it's cool to see. It doesn't always work, but when it does work, it's nice. And this was one of those cases where it didn't really work, but it kind of worked, half worked. And maybe if you like Rescue Cat, this is a fun way to approach the deck. Some of these cards are pretty unique and might get your opponent scratching their head as well. Green Baboon, King of the Beasts, not great cards. They're not. But the deck is cool and it's on theme. I have other versions of this deck I was going to show you guys. Hold on, let me pull up Dueling Book. Let me show you a few more versions of this. All right, skip intro, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead and close out of this one. So Tim had mentioned earlier on, did you try Behemoth King of the Beasts? And the answer is yes, I did try it. I was trying really hard to make it work, actually. But it was hard to get to a point where it's just not going to load, is it? Fucking Dueling Book, man. It was hard to get to a point where it's like, I want to tribute this guy. Outside of specifically Hamster or like Raikou, like a Raikou sticking around. I want a main or side Vortex. That's a great suggestion, D Mason. I think I'm going to make that change. So I initially was trying Behemoth King of the Beasts, or King of All Animals. And I was initially playing something like this, where it was like heavier on the Airbellums. I was playing Solidarity. I was playing Instant Fusion for Flower Wolf so that I can make easy Stardust to back up my Solidarity. And this felt good. Like, this felt actually, like, pretty decent. But Behemoth just wasn't popping. I really did like Solidarity. I really wished I could have fit that into the last build. But, obviously, when you have, like, Sangan and shit, like, you can't play it unless you're also playing Bazoo, and that's a convolution. Or unless you're also playing Soul Release in the main, which you could make an argument to play Soul Release in the main of this deck. You could make that argument. It's not terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think this build of the deck, this was like my early build of the deck. And I was like, maybe Bazoo Return is good. But for some reason, I was just never getting him live. I was never in a spot where I was like, man, I really want to tribute summon what I have to summon this guy. And I felt that like poking with hamsters was actually pretty good most of the time. And that led me to the second iteration of the deck, which is this one, which has the more recursive like late game engine of like Moja plus King of the Beasts. That felt like a really solid core for the late game. And then I was also getting to play Plague, who made a pretty big difference in a lot of the games. And Sangan as well. Sangan and Plague like really put in a lot of work in a lot of the games. I don't know which is better. I don't know which one I'm going to work on moving forward. But I think I'm going to try to go back to Solidarity and then maybe try to find a way to also play Plague because he banishes himself. But I don't know. That one's going to be hard. Because I really do like Solidarity. I think the concept of having like 2,400 Airbellums or like 1,900 hamster is really good. Like flip a hamster and then you have a 1,900 beater. Like that's really good. But it didn't really work well with the rats. I was unimpressed with the rats. I was unimpressed with Mad Dog. Oh no, actually Mad Dog was fine. I was unimpressed with Behemoth. I think this guy, one of this guy, and one of the Moja guy. I think in the Solidarity build, you might want to play more King Tigers, but I'm not really sure. I could easily go down to one. Could play two King of the Beasts, right? You're kind of cooking something here. And there's a lot of like slop in here that could get cut, like enemy controller, mind control. Like these cards didn't make the final cut of the other lists, right? So this could be like the karma cut type shit. Because I was really impressed with karma cut. I don't know. This just doesn't have great access to Rescue Cat. It doesn't have Sangan. It looks uglier, you know? It doesn't look as clean. The Legacy is like, ugh. I don't want to play that card if I can avoid it. My deck is already slow. And then we don't get to play like Cyber Dragon and stuff like that. Like maybe you want Smashing Ground in decks like this. I don't really even know. Let's see how this draws. But this was the first, I guess now the third iteration of this deck. I really want Solidarity to be good in it. I don't know if it will be. Because the monsters don't really float super well. Like, look at this hand. Like, what if I draw an Avarice with this hand? Oh, that's so ugly. Like, Mad Dog of Darkness is just a bad card. Like, it's just not a good card. This hand is fine. It's not like a terrible hand or anything. It's just... we're like one beast. Like, a little bit shy of, like, making this deck a legit thing. This hand is much better because we have Hamster. But, like, you get the idea. Karma Cut with King of the Beasts, but no Moja access. You guys are kind of getting why we moved more towards like the Plague, Necro Gardna. I don't know. It's been a good stream, guys. It's been a good stream, everybody. A solid 2.5 hours. We covered a lot of good stuff. We covered a lot of stuff that needed to be covered. The Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, I'm interested to see how it goes. There's just not a lot of good Beast cards. There's not. Most of the good ones are Beast Warrior, unfortunately. Which sucks, because I think that there's some cool Beast cards, but not a lot. There are some, but not enough to make like a dedicated Beast deck. So, yeah. There's this guy. Wicked Worm Beast. He's not bad. You can get him off Cat, and then he bounces to your hand. So you can go like Cat into double Wicked Worm Beast, and then bounce both of them back to your hand, and then just use them as like repeated annoying pressure throughout the game. There's a bunch of like interesting ones that aren't like particularly amazing, but are kind of interesting. If we look at all of them, which we will right now, there's only 5 pages, right? Most of these, Giant Rat's okay. Bazoo is pretty strong. Bazoo's probably just a better card than Mad Dog, if we're being honest. But Bazoo really begs for return and like more Bazoo type shit, you know? Berserk Gorilla is terrible. I did test him as well, but he tested worse than Mad Dog. And most of these cards are just ass. Like, what? Fire Dog's good, but then you can't play Solidarity because the Magician's not a beast. I always liked this card, Sunlight Unicorn. I wondered if it could be good in a deck. I thought about it in like the context of that Equip OTK deck. Benkai. Like if you have enough equips, like 50% hits on this isn't bad. Like, would you play an 1800 light monster that said 50% of the time when you summon this card, draw a card? Would you play that? Like, okay, let's say when this card is normal summon, flip a coin. If heads, you draw a card. And then it's just an 1800 light beat stick. Would you guys play that card? I don't know. This is a slept on card. This is pretty cool. There's a lot of like weird shit, like, you know, Ojamas that could be interesting in this type of thing as well. But yeah, that's about all I have for you guys. Going to this tournament. RBET at Genesis is filling up and it's coming up close. It's coming up soon. Don't sleep on this. It's gonna be one of the coolest events of the year. It's gonna be sick to be able to like go there, play some Edison, play some Riftbound. There's a Riftbound tournament too there as well. There's a GOAT tournament as well. There's all different games happening at Genesis. There's in the TCG area, I believe it's just GOAT, Riftbound, Edison, and then whatever side events we end up firing. And then the fighting game area, they got everything, which is gonna be sick. So yeah, don't sleep on this. I think I've teased a little bit of the mat designs. What's up, Edison Medicine? How you doing? I'm probably gonna be ending stream here, guys, but have a good night.